Chapter 1241 Jin Shungdaozu was hit hard. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Xingluan Daozu's body was motionless, and the breath of life completely dissipated. Xingluan Daozu, fall. Outside the isolated island, many Taoist ancestors were terrified. It was abhorrent that Xingluan Daozu sneaked up on so many Daozu before, but so many Daozu and a bunch of forbidden bloodline creatures could not offset the Great Terror. Even Xingluan Daozu himself was killed. Xingluan Daozu is not the 7th level Taoist ancestor, but the 8th level Supreme Taoist ancestor, and he is a relatively powerful Supreme Taoist ancestor. Such a powerful Supreme Tao ancestor, even an ordinary invincible Tao ancestor would not dare to say that he would kill him in one blow, at least it would take 2 moves to kill him. But in the face of the Great Terror, he was instantly killed with a single move, and he had no resistance. I am afraid that the strength of Xingluan Daozu would be the same. Whoa whoa whoa, a powerful Daozu and an invincible Daozu came one by one, and it became lively outside the island. And Yi Tian also came here. It was a Taoist ancestor of the human race who informed him to come here, because the situation here is too strange. Myriad Dharma Taoist. Myriad Dharma Taoist. Some Taoist ancestors greeted Yi Tian. Among them, there are many Taoist ancestors who are familiar with Yi Tian, such as Fire King, Liu Huo Taoist, Xuanfeng Taoist and so on. Liu Huo 29 Daozu said, Wanfa Daozu, the taboo treasure that appeared this time is not simple. Does Liu Huo Daozu know the situation? Yi Tian asked. Liu Huo Daozu said, the power of terror caused by the forbidden treasures that appeared this time is too terrifying. Whoever dares to draw it out will fall and die, and even the strongest Daozu can't escape. Under normal circumstances, big terror will only attack and touch people. The creatures who touch the forbidden treasure will not do anything to the people around them. But this time is different. Even if the Taoist ancestors who enter the range of the isolated island, even if they stand still, as long as someone triggers a big terror, they will not be able to escape. Now, no one can escape. Dare to enter the isolated island, otherwise someone will deliberately touch the forbidden treasure, and everyone will die. Based on my understanding of the Great Horror, the main reason is that the forbidden treasure corresponding to the forbidden treasure in the dark forbidden area is not ordinary, and the forbidden creature guarding the treasure is also extremely powerful. It can project a considerable part of the power across countless dark forbidden areas, and can attack independently. A forbidden creature that can project a considerable part of its power. Yi Tian also noticed how difficult things were. Of course, if there is no interest in this forbidden treasure, there will be no danger, because the power of Great Terror cannot spread beyond the island. But such a taboo treasure, everyone wants it. With the passage of time, an invincible Taoist ancestor and a strong Taoist ancestor gathered here, and everyone did not dare to cause a big terrifying thing casually. After all, there is only one life. Once they fall, no one can resurrect them. Come on, I don't believe that a mere big terror can kill our invincible Daozu. An invincible Daozu said. When everyone looked around, they saw that it was the new invincible Daozu of King Kong City, Jin Sheng Daozu. Jin Sheng Daozu had the title of invincible physical body when he was the strongest Daozu. Although he was not as good as Yanzu and Xuanyu Daozu, he was quite powerful. Now he has been promoted to invincible Daozu, and his combat power is in the middle of the invincible Daozu level, but the defense and life-saving ability are top-notch. Therefore, he is very confident in his life-saving ability. Others dare not go in, but if he goes in and withstood the Great Terror, he can easily take away the forbidden treasure. Golden Saint Daozu is brave enough. Don't worry, if you really resist the Great Terror, I will not snatch your forbidden treasure. An invincible Daozu said. Immediately, an invincible Daozu also said that he would not snatch the forbidden treasure, but there were still quite a few invincible Daozu who did not make a statement. Jin Shungdaozu didn't care too much. Even if there was an invincible Daozu who wanted to snatch him, it would not be so easy to kill him. He has full confidence in whether he can escape. Wow! Jin Shungdaozu stepped into the isolated island, came to the black wood, looked at the phantom of the Dapeng, and his face was a little dignified. Go! Jin Sheng Daozu threw out a bunch of forbidden bloodline creatures, all of which were caught before. After all, the invincible Daozu can ignore the great horror of forbidden strange objects, but it is also difficult to contend with the great horror of forbidden treasures, so they often capture some forbidden bloodline creatures as bait. The forbidden bloodline creatures captured by him are naturally not few. About hundreds of forbidden bloodline creatures were thrown by him to trigger the terrifying power on this black wood. Boom! The power of great terror was triggered. Puff puff! A head of forbidden bloodline creatures erupted and fell to their death in an instant, and then a paw of the illusory Dapeng extended to Jin Shengdeozu. The speed was too fast, and a suppressing force acted on Jin Shengdeozu, making it difficult for him to move. Puff! Jin Shengdeozu was attacked by a terrifying force, constantly destroying his body, and even his soul was injured. Not good. Jin Shengdeozu was shocked and knew very well that if he did not escape, he would not be able to survive at all. Immediately, he used a life-saving object to forcibly break free from the shackles and came to the outside of the isolated island, but the terrifying attack did not continue to attack him. Off the island, Jin Shengdeozu's invincible body is constantly cracking and healing, and he is constantly coughing up blood. The world in his body is almost collapsed, his soul has also been severely injured, and the injury can be said to be quite serious. Seeing this scene, many invincible Taoist ancestors were horrified. How powerful is Jin Shengdeozu's life-saving 480 ability and defense ability? He is in such a tragic state, wouldn't those ordinary invincible Daozu be killed with one move? Moreover, if Jin Shengdeozu did not escape, I am afraid that he would also die. In this way, even the top invincible Taoist ancestors can't contend with such a big terror, only the half-step domain ancestors can contend with such a big terror. But this time, the ancestors of the half-step domain did not come, because a large taboo void in the area could not attract the ancestors of the half-step domain. There are too many opportunities in the ancient world of Xuanxu. The ancestors of the half-step domain do not know how many opportunities they have obtained, and they are taking the time to cultivate and improve their strength. Unless it is a real big opportunity, the ancestors of the half-step domain are not willing to come out. Moreover, the Taoist ancestors present were not willing to inform the half-step ancestors, otherwise there would be no place for them. Of course, everyone collects enough forbidden blood creatures, and then together to trigger the Big Terror. I don't believe that the Big Terror is endless. Once the power of Great Terror has been exhausted, how about everyone doing the treasures in a fair manner? Liu Huo Daozu suggested. Okay, that's a good idea. I agree. Many invincible Taoist ancestors agreed, but few of the strongest Taoist ancestors agreed, because they did not dare, their strength was too poor, and they did not dare to take risks. Chapter 1242 No More Hiding. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. I agree too. 1. Yi Tian said, he is not afraid of Great Terror. In terms of life-saving ability, he is confident that he is above Jin Shengdeozu. Even Jin Shengdeozu can escape, and he naturally has no problem. Moreover, in terms of strength, he is sure to fight against the weaker half-step ancestors, so how can he be afraid of the so-called Big Terror? Next, these Taoist ancestors began to search for forbidden bloodline creatures in this large forbidden treasure land. There are many forbidden bloodline creatures here, arresting some of them, plus the previously suppressed forbidden bloodline creatures, is enough to gather a large number of forbidden bloodline creatures. Whoa! An invincible Daozu and a few supreme Daozu took action. The other Taoist ancestors did not continue to stay here, but went to other places to find forbidden strange objects. Anyway, they are not qualified to compete for this forbidden treasure. If time is delayed, the forbidden strange objects in this large forbidden treasure land can be taken away by other Taoist ancestors, so they naturally have to leave here and quickly find the forbidden strange objects. Time passed little by little. Soon, an invincible Taoist ancestor came to this isolated island again, and Yi Tian also came back. Everyone is very nervous, because if there is a change, maybe someone will fall. Let's start. An invincible Daozu named Zhejiang Daozu threw the forbidden bloodline creature at the forbidden treasure Blackwood. Boom! The Great Terror was triggered, and the dense number of forbidden bloodline creatures seemed to be frozen, and the illusory claws swept across their bodies, quickly killing them in seconds. Then, one claws grabbed the invincible Taoist ancestors and several powerful Taoist ancestors. Since they are attacking many invincible Taoist ancestors at the same time, the power of each illusory claws must not be very powerful. It is impossible for the Taoist ancestors to sit still and burst out all their strength, trying to attack the illusory claws, and the strength of the Taoist ancestors also slightly affected the power of the illusory claws, so it would not have no effect at all. But these illusory claws still penetrated the body of a famous Taoist ancestor. Even Yi Tian did not avoid it, and was attacked by the illusory claws. Boom! The terrifying power invaded Yi Tian's body, constantly destroying his body. Even the taboo body was very thin under this power, and the body was destroyed little by little, but it was offset by the power of the forbidden source in time. Yi Tian was slightly injured. However, the others were not easy. One invincible Dao ancestor was not lightly injured, while 3 supreme Dao ancestors fell, and an invincible Dao ancestor with core life-saving ability also fell. All 4 fell in one fell swoop. Afterwards, the illusory Dapeng attacked the crowd again, and the illusory claws attacked. This time, another person fell, and several invincible Dao ancestors had been severely injured, and they did not dare to stay here and fled in an instant. How could this happen? Could it be that this great horror is endless? Many invincible Taoist ancestors panicked. If the Great Terror is not offset, they dare not take the forbidden treasure at all, otherwise whoever takes it will die. But soon, the invincible ancestors found that the power of the Big Terror was weakened a lot, much weaker than before. In this way, an invincible Daozu forcibly resisted the power of the Great Terror, constantly weakening the power of the Great Terror, making the power of the Great Terror weaker and weaker. Not too long ago, the power of Great Terror was no longer able to pose a threat to many Taoist ancestors. Just when many invincible Taoist ancestors set their sights on the taboo treasure and no longer paid attention to the Great Terror, a change suddenly occurred. Boom! A terrifying force emanated from the forbidden treasure, forming a special field that enveloped the entire island. This domain field contains unique taboo rules, which seem to be some kind of spatial rules, which block the island all at once. An invincible Daozu tried to use some kind of escape-type treasure to escape, but it failed. Damn, there's no escape. The invincible Daozu said in despair. Everyone can see that this is a change, but no matter how they escape, it is useless. Even if they fly, they can't fly out, and the void where the island is located seems to be infinitely expanded. This is like Sun Wukong can't escape from the palm of the Buddha's hand, no matter how far he flies, it won't help. In the field, a huge creature appeared, like an enlarged version of the Dapeng, somewhat similar to the dark-winged Dapeng eagle that fell into the dark forbidden region before, but it was not actually the same species. This Dapeng was pitch black all over, with 6 claws and golden eyes. At this moment, the Dapeng seemed to have descended into the real body, and the terrifying aura of taboo creatures filled the air, making everyone tremble in their hearts. How could this be? This is a forbidden creature. The invincible Taoist ancestors feared in their hearts. It's a projection. Liu Huo Daozu smiled bitterly. It's just that this forbidden creature is too powerful. Even if it is separated by an infinite distance, the projection power is comparable to the half-step ancestor. Moreover, it should be very proficient in the rules of space, so it can project a ray of consciousness. Come, this should be the incarnation of a big horror projection with a hint of consciousness. 1. Everyone can't imagine how powerful and forbidden creatures are, so that a trace of projection can have the strength of a half-step ancestor. Let's go together. If we don't kill it, we will all die. An invincible Daozu suggested. Boom! The Dapeng creatures were killed, and these Taoist ancestors could not be considered. In an instant, the two sides fought each other. In the face of the Dapeng projection creatures with half-step domain ancestor combat power, many invincible Taoist ancestors were simply defeated, and one by one was hit and flew out. However, thanks to the projection, the defense is not strong, so many invincible Taoist ancestors have displayed their trump cards, which is enough to compete with the Dapeng projection creature. However, the strength gap between the two sides was too large, and casualties soon followed. Except for Yi Tian, several other Supreme Dao ancestors died one by one, and the weaker invincible Dao ancestors also quickly perished. Sudden, the Dapeng projection creature grabbed a claw at the Liu Huo Daozu who had been seriously injured. The void was condensed money, and the Liu Huo Daozu was difficult to break free, and the taboo defensive armor on his body had long been shattered, and the life-saving things were almost used. Empty. This blow, he may not be able to block. Just after the claws were about to fall, a spear suddenly stopped the Dapeng projection creature, and a figure stood in front of Liu Huo Daozu. This person is Yi Tian. Thank you Wanfa Daozu. Liu Huo Daozu thanked him. Yi Tian didn't speak, but went straight to fight with this Dapeng projection creature. At this moment, he doesn't need to hide his strength anymore. If you can fight with the ancestors of the half-step domain, it is enough to be ranked at the level of the ancestors of the half-step domain. In addition, with the Black Wind Mountain as a backer, what else do you need to be afraid of? Boom! Yi Tian and the Dapeng projection creatures were constantly fighting, and this kind of combat power completely stunned everyone. It is too exaggerated for the Supreme Taoist ancestor to compete with the Dapeng projection creature at the half-step domain ancestor level. Chapter 1243 Inheritance of the Extreme Way. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Come on, an invincible Taoist said quickly. While Yi Tian was fighting against the Dapeng projection creature, he could just try to escape from here. With so many invincible Taoist ancestors united, there should be a way to break the blockade here and return to the outside world, as long as the Dapeng projection creature does not stop them. Immediately, the other invincible Tao ancestors reacted and tried to break the blockade here at all costs. Boom! A temporary passage was opened, and an invincible Daozu shuttled out of the isolated island. In the blink of an eye, only Yitian and Dapeng projection creatures remained on the isolated island. Without other people, plus the domain field of the Dapeng projection creatures wrapping the entire island, the forces of the outside world cannot extend in, so no one knows the battle situation here. Before, Yitian only resisted the Dapeng projection creature, but did not attack. But at this moment, he doesn't need to hide. Dark Pole Dao Spear. Shadow Thorn. Yitian used the Forbidden Dao technique to attack the Dapeng projection creature again and again. The only thing that disappointed him was that the stealth method was useless to the Dapeng projection creature, and the other party could easily gain insight into Yitian's forbidden talent. Of course, the Dapeng projection creature is not the body after all, its power is gradually being consumed, and it seems that it is difficult for the opponent to replenish its power. Therefore, as long as it is consumed, Yitian can finally consume the Dapeng projection creature to death, thus taking 480 to take the forbidden treasure. Time passed, Yitian's injury was getting heavier and heavier, but the Dapeng projection creature was even more miserable, and the strength displayed was not much, and it was no longer Yitian's opponent. But just when Yitian was about to kill the Dapeng projection creature in one go, a mutation occurred. I saw that the golden eyes of this Dapeng projection creature showed a humanized look, and a voice filled this isolated island. Interesting little bugs, whose realm is so low, can show their strength, and there is a chance to grow to my level in the future. Dapeng projection creature said, "You can talk." Yitian was surprised. What's the difficulty of speaking? The Dapeng projection creature smiled and said, "It's just that I was fighting with you before with no sense of wisdom, but now that a piece of my wisdom has come, I can talk to you. Originally, I can pay some price to kill you, but your potential is good and it is worth my investment. I will give you a chance. If you are in the dark forbidden area in the future, you can come to me. Remember, my name is Pengsu." After Pengsu finished speaking, the golden eyes released a ray of light, which entered Yitian's body CJFI, and he had no time to dodge. After releasing this ray of light, Pengzhou's projection disappeared. The domain field that enveloped the isolated island gradually disappeared. Yitian didn't have time to investigate the ray of light in his body, but went to take away the forbidden treasure that looked like a black piece of wood. Whoa whoa whoa, the invincible Tao ancestors' divine senses came to investigate, and they were shocked when they saw Yitian who was seriously injured. They thought that Yitian would fall, but they did not expect Yitian to survive, and the Dapeng projection creature disappeared, and it was also considered that Yitian consumed the opponent. Immediately, they were all overwhelmed by Yitian's strength. In their opinion, Yitian is not much worse than the weaker half-step domain ancestor. The strength of Wanfa Daozu is so powerful, it's too surprising, and it is the first time I know that the Supreme Daozu can raise his strength to this level. An invincible Taoist sighed. Although Yitian was seriously injured, no one dared to snatch his forbidden treasure. No matter how seriously injured, the half-step ancestors can easily kill an invincible Taoist. Only the invincible ancestors that defy the sky can compete with the weaker half-step ancestors, but the entire Xuanshu ancient world has a few such invincible Daozu, at least the kind of truly invincible Daozu that has been revealed so far. Yitian didn't stay here, but left quickly. He is also afraid of accidents. If there is a half-step Yuzu to deal with him, he will not be able to escape in his current state. Soon, Yitian left this large forbidden treasure and returned to the human world. Only then did he relax. In the human realm, even the half-step domain ancestor couldn't get in, so he was very safe. Next, Yitian explored the situation of that light while healing. Inherited. The information contained in this light is an inheritance. Not long after, Yitian completely accepted this inheritance, and the whole person was completely excited. The inheritance of extreme Tao. And this is the inheritance of the extreme path belonging to the practitioners. He was very puzzled. The so-called Pengsu should be a kind of creature such as taboo creatures, and there is an extreme inheritance belonging to practitioners. Perhaps it was Pengsu who killed a powerful cultivator, or he acquired it from other powerful cultivators, or even other circumstances. The so-called inheritance of the ultimate Tao is an inheritance at the level of Tao ancestors, which is of little value to ordinary Tao patriarchs, but for Tao patriarchs like Yitian, the value of inheritance of ultimate Tao is too great and can be called the greatest chance. Yi Tian has always believed that the invincible Dao ancestor is the ultimate Dao ancestor, and he can only reach the half-step domain ancestor level if he improves it. And if you want to hit the half-step domain ancestor level, you must master the taboo, and complete the integration of the taboo in your own avenue, just like Yi Tian's endless taboo. Secondly, it is necessary to comprehend enough domain ancestors' profound meanings, so that the forbidden Tao force in the body contains domain force attributes, which will cause the qualitative change of body, soul and Tao force, and then step into the half-step domain ancestor level in one fell swoop. However, this is not the case in the inheritance of the extreme Tao. After reaching the invincible Taoist ancestor, the forbidden body can be raised to the realm of 100% great perfection, which is the truly perfect forbidden body. Secondly, it is also necessary to convert all the forbidden Tao power in the body into the forbidden power, which completely overrides the Tao power. Finally, is the most important soul. Although the Daozu level places great importance on the soul, there is not much inheritance about the soul in fact, but the soul is extremely important. It is the foundation of a person. Inheritance of the extreme way can raise the spirit play to an almost immortal level, referred to as the immortal soul. The perfect forbidden body, the forbidden power, and the indestructible soul are all condensed together to form the power of the extreme way. The invincible Tao ancestor of the extreme Tao realm is the real invincible Tao ancestor, and after stepping into the half-step domain ancestor level in the future, he can easily step into the realm of all things, or even the realm of unity, and the limit of ordinary half-step domain ancestors is to return to the realm. A great perfection. But the inheritors of the extreme way are different. They also have a half-step domain ancestor in the extreme realm, and these half-step domain ancestors can counterattack the battle domain ancestors. And the half-step domain ancestors of the great perfection of the unity realm are all ants in front of the real domain ancestors. This is the gap between ordinary practitioners and extreme practitioners. But without the inheritance of the extreme path, one would not even think about stepping into the extreme path. And now, Yi Tian has the ultimate inheritance. You can imagine what a great opportunity this is. Chapter 124484 of the Forbidden Bodies. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. The inheritance of the extreme path is very complete. It can be said that only with sufficient talent, sufficient potential, and sufficient resources, one can enter the realm of the extreme path. Other invincible Tao ancestors couldn't cultivate to the extreme realm, but Yi Tian felt that he should be fine. Moreover, the piece of black wood he obtained this time is a top-level forbidden tree of spiritual roots, and it is the top one that can temper the forbidden body, even the forbidden body of the Dacheng level. Has a strong quenching effect. Otherwise, Yi Tian didn't know how many years it would take to raise the forbidden body to the 100% great perfection state. However, he also knew very well that if other people didn't have the talent for copying, it would be too difficult to take the path of the extreme path. Even his relatives don't have much hope of going the extreme way. Therefore, he didn't plan to tell his relatives about the path of the extreme path, otherwise they would have to take the path of the extreme path, which would lead to nothing and even delay the growth rate, then it would be unnecessary. If in the future, Yi Xingchen, Yi Xingyu, his wife Xiao Yu and others hope to take the road of the pole, he will hand over the inheritance of the pole to them. Yi Tian took out the black wood, shaved off a little sawdust, but ground it into powder, only then could it be refined, otherwise it would be difficult to refine this black-colored wood. Boom! The powder was refined by Yi Tian and turned into a stream of extremely pure energy that was constantly refining Yi Tian's forbidden body. Originally, after Yi Tian's forbidden body reached 80%, his progress was very slow, and he couldn't continue to refine the forbidden body with many forbidden strange objects. But now, after refining the black powder, Yi Tian's forbidden body began to improve, and the refining effect was too good. According to such a tempering effect, it won't be long before Yi Tian's forbidden body can reach 80%. Moreover, the forbidden Tao power is also being continuously tempered, and the effect is very good. In addition, there is also a secret technique specifically aimed at the purity of forbidden Tao power in the inheritance of the extreme way. In the days that followed, Yi Tian continued to temper the forbidden body and practice the secret technique of the ultimate inheritance, and the days passed very quickly. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of years have passed. At this time, Yi Tian's forbidden body has been tempered to the level of 84%, and the black wood has also consumed 1,000th of it. It can be seen from this that the value of this black piece of wood is huge, and this piece of black wood is obviously condensed from the projection of some kind of supreme treasure in the dark forbidden area. The value of wood is not known how many times higher treasures. It will be more and more difficult to temper the taboo body to the back. This black wood should not be able to completely temper me to the level of 100% complete forbidden body. In the future, I must find a higher level of cultivation type forbidden treasures. It can make my forbidden body reach the level of 100% perfection. Yi Tian muttered. Afterwards, Yi Tian often went to function to comprehend the eternal origin stone statue, comprehend the forbidden Tao and the endless Tao, so as to cultivate the endless Tao to the limit as soon as possible, thus stepping into the invincible Tao ancestor realm. Once he has entered the invincible Daozu realm, his strength can be transformed again, reaching a very terrifying level, and his own safety does not need to worry about anything. Tiandi Palace. The Golden Crow Palace Master and the Azure Dragon Palace Master are discussing a big matter, and that is a big matter for Haifeng Mountain. Before, Haifeng Mountain had robbed the Heavenly Emperor Palace many times, causing the Heavenly Emperor Palace to lose a lot. Now, the Dragon Shadow Palace Master has entered the half-step ancestor level of the Unification Realm, so whether it is high-end combat power or background, Tiandi Palace does not need to be afraid of Haifeng Mountain. And this time, the topic they were talking about was Yi Tian. Yi Tian fought against a Dapeng projection creature comparable to the half-step domain ancestor in the large forbidden treasure land, showing terrifying combat power. Even if Yi Tian is not as good as the real half-step domain ancestor, the difference is actually not that big. A supreme Taoist ancestor is comparable to a half-step domain ancestor, what a terrifying thing. The Palace Master of the Golden Crow and the Palace Master of Qinglong had not heard of such a thing in the Divine Heaven realm, so they were very afraid of Yi Tian. You must kill Wanfa Daozu, otherwise once he has entered the level of invincible Daozu, it will be difficult to kill him again. Jinwu Palace Master suggested. That's right, Qinglong Palace Master nodded. His Dao is very powerful. It is estimated that it will be difficult to upgrade to the ultimate level. It will take a long time, but we can't give him any more time. Before, he was not very good. Powerful, so we don't pay enough attention. But now we must pay attention, otherwise once he rises completely, it will pose a great threat to our Heavenly Emperor Palace. For flowers, the Golden Crow Palace Master kept looking at the information about Yi Tian, and immediately said coldly, from the information point of view, Wanfa Daozu is likely to be the same person as the Dark King, and the Dark King is likely to be the previous Juji Heavenly King. Before you it is said that the Juji Heavenly King cannot grow so fast, and that the Dark King is one of the ancient 10 kings, but in fact your information is wrong. Even Wanfa Daozu can grow so fast, and the Juji Heavenly King can naturally grow so fast. But the Dark King and the Juji Heavenly King appeared at the same time, and the Dark King doesn't look like a clone. Qinglong Palace Master frowned. What do you know? There are so many secrets in the dark forbidden area that I can't understand. If there is any special talent for avatars, it is not surprising at all. The Golden Crow Palace Master said. We can't track the whereabouts of the Dark King, but the whereabouts of Wanfa Daozu are easy to track. I suggest to start an attack on Wanfa Daozu immediately. Once Wanfa Daozu is killed, it will definitely cause huge losses to Haifeng Mountain. But we only have one chance to attack, otherwise once let Wanfa Daozu notice it, and it will be difficult to kill him again. Who to send? Qinglong Palace Master hesitated. Go in person. The Golden Crow Palace Master ordered. The combat power of Wanfa Daozu is close to that of a weaker half-step domain ancestor. If other palace masters attack Wanfa Daozu, it will be difficult to kill him. And your strength is qualified. Killing the weaker half-step domain ancestor, combined with several other half-step palace masters, should be able to kill Wanfa Dao ancestor in a short time. As for me, I am responsible for intercepting the half-step domain ancestor who came to rescue from Haifeng Mountain. If necessary, the Dragon Shadow Palace Master and the others will also take action. If this time kills one Wanfa Daozu, and then kills a few half-step domain ancestors in Haifeng Mountain, it will be perfect. Then do it this way. Qinglong Palace Master agreed. However, Tiandi Palace has not waited for the right opportunity. These years, Yi Tian has been cultivating in Functioner Human World, and Human World is a medium-sized taboo void world, and the ancestors of the half-step domain have no way to invade, so there is no way to launch an attack, and can only slowly look for opportunities. Chapter 1245 Breakthrough, Invincible Daozu. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. This day, Yi Tian received a summons from Liang Zhuor. Tiandi Palace wants to kill me. Yi Tian was a little surprised. Moreover, it was the half-step ancestors of the Tiandi Palace who planned to assassinate him, and many half-step ancestors shot together. Once they did, they would not give him a chance to live. Where did Zhuor get the information? Yi Tian was very curious. For a long time, Ouyang Juer seemed to know the Heavenly Emperor Palace very well, and even knew the plans of the Heavenly Emperor Palace very well. And this time, the plan of the Heavenly Emperor Palace was obviously something that only the ancestors of the half-step domain knew about, and Ouyang Juer also knew about it. Isn't Juer a half-step ancestral level intelligence officer in the Heavenly Emperor Palace? Which one is it? Yi Tian was a little curious. If the guess is true, then Ouyang Juer's identity is not ordinary, otherwise, the half-step ancestor of the Tiandi Palace would not be able to disclose the information, 480, to Ouyang Juer. The last time I exposed my combat power on the isolated island of the Forbidden Treasure, the Tiandi Palace should know that my combat power is second only to the half-step ancestor. If I launch an ambush, I will definitely be treated as a real half-step ancestor. Attack, it will definitely kill me. Yi Tian muttered. Although Haifeng Mountain is powerful, it is impossible for the half-step ancestors of Haifeng Mountain to protect him at any time, and the general half-step ancestors are not strong enough to protect him. They must be half-step ancestors like Mia of Daozu, barely able to protect him. In fact, the Mia of Daozu is not very powerful, at most it is considered to be half the realm of all things in the half-step realm. Once the Heavenly Emperor Palace sends out the real ancestor of the realm of all things, the Mia of Daozu can't protect him. Therefore, he must rely on himself. As long as he is strong enough, the Heavenly Emperor Palace will not dare to attack him rashly. The cultivation base must be upgraded to the invincible Daozu realm as soon as possible. Yi Tian thought to himself. Now, his infinite Dao has reached 83%. As long as he continues to work hard to comprehend and focus all his energy on the infinite Dao, it is not difficult to raise the infinite Dao to the limit. The people in Tiandi Palace think that it will take a long time for me to be promoted to the invincible Daozu realm, but they don't know that Haifeng Mountain has the Eternal Origin Stone statue, and I have always been able to comprehend the Eternal Origin Stone statue, plus my talent is enough. Well, if you want to be promoted to invincible Daozu, you don't need a long time. HMPH, when I step into the invincible Daozu level, if the half-step ancestors of the Tiandi Palace dare to attack me, they will suffer. Yi Tian muttered. Immediately, he spent most of his time in the Pagoda of Enlightenment, the Eternal Origin Stone statue in function. He has a lot of points, plus countless resources, enough to exchange enough points, so he can comprehend the Eternal Origin Stone statue for a long time. Just like that, the years passed. The Heavenly Emperor Palace has been staring at the situation of the human race, but Yi Tian couldn't come out at all, so they thought that Yi Tian was in retreat, and there was no doubt about it. After all, it was normal for Taoist ancestors to retreat. In addition, Yi Tian also let his relatives retreat in practice, trying not to leave the human world. After all, Yi Tian was also afraid that the Heavenly Emperor Palace would deal with his relatives and thus lead him out. Therefore, Yi Tian, including his own relatives, all retreated. This way, it would be safer. Under the circumstance of Yi Tian improving the Infinity Dao at all costs, his improvement speed is very fast. After all, he has temporarily given up other aspects of cultivation, and he can improve the Infinity Dao by 1% in almost 10,000 years. And just like that, 10,000 years and 10,000 years have passed. Hundreds of thousands of years have passed, and on this day, Yi Tian finally realized the infinite Dao to the limit level. I can finally break through. Yi Tian muttered. Boom. The endless Dao of the extreme level communicates the origin of the chaos Dao. Yi Tian's body seems to be integrated with the infinite Dao of the extreme level and the origin of the chaos Dao, and the whole body has attracted a huge transformation. Click. The shackles in the dark were broken, and the inexhaustible power of the source poured into Yi Tian's body, helping him to constantly change the essence of the flesh. The Xian body is now being transformed into a limit body, which represents the limit of the Taoist ancestors and is much stronger than the Xian body. Moreover, the invincible Dao ancestors' Dao strength, soul, and physical strength far exceed the strongest Dao ancestors. After all, only the rare supreme Dao ancestors can rival the weaker invincible Dao ancestors. Under normal circumstances, the invincible Daozu can easily kill a supreme Daozu. And Yi Tian broke through at this moment. The breath keeps growing, the power of the flesh, the power of the soul, and the power of the forbidden Dao are all skyrocketing, as if breaking through a big realm. Because Yi Tian's background is too deep, it seems that even the power of the source of chaos is too late for Yi Tian to complete the breakthrough. So, Yi Tian took out a huge amount of cultivation-type forbidden strange objects, smashed these forbidden strange objects, turned them into forbidden energy and poured into the inner world, and mobilized the power of the forbidden source to complete the transformation of the body. Just like that, time passed slowly. 2 days. 3 days. Yi Tian's breakthrough position is in the human world, so the outside world does not know, even high function does not know that he has broken through. This breakthrough took a full 6 months, and Yi Tian spent countless resources before successfully completing the transformation. My strength. Yi Tian felt a little bit, and was immediately overjoyed. He is much stronger now than before, and the whole person has ushered in a new qualitative change. If Yi Tian at the Supreme Daozu level is only comparable to the weaker half-step domain ancestors, then his current combat power is probably higher than that of Qinglong Palace Master, perhaps comparable to half-step domain ancestors like Meiwu Palace Master and Mia of A Daozu. More importantly, he has just broken through to become the invincible Dao ancestor, and there is still a lot of room for improvement. When he cultivates the Juji Dao Temple, he will stabilize his cultivation base, improve the forbidden Dao power, the power of the soul, and the power of the flesh, and then improve the forbidden body, and cultivate the inheritance of the extreme path. At that time, his strength will have a considerable increase. At that time, his combat power is the half-step ancestor of the realm of all things, which is very large. In the days that followed, Yi Tian was very low-key and did not publicize his breakthrough, but instead kept his realm steady and improved his cultivation. And just like that, another 10,000 years passed. 5.8 After 10,000 years of hard work, Yi Tian's realm has long since stabilized, and his cultivation has grown a little. And because of breaking through to the invincible Dao ancestor realm, Yi Tian's forbidden body has also grown, and now he has completed 87% of the tempering level. If he continues to work hard, it will not be long before he can reach the 90% tempering level. In addition, his forbidden Dao techniques have basically been upgraded to the realm of Dacheng. It's time to go out and lead the Tiandi Palace to do it. Yi Tian decided. However, instead of going out on his own, he copied his own body and went out as a copy body. In this case, even if the copy body was killed, he would have no effect. This is the safest method. After all, he doesn't know if the Heavenly Emperor Palace will kill him at all costs. In that case, even the half-step ancestor's battle strength of the realm of all things is not very safe. There is only one life, so he is naturally more cautious. Chapter 1246 Killing the Palace Lord of the Heavenly Wolf. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Yi Tian copied his own body. This time he did not act as the Dark King, but left the human world as the Dao ancestor of 10,000 laws. Of course, there is almost no shortage of equipment that this body should have, otherwise the combat effectiveness will be drastically reduced. Yi Tian left the human world in order to compete for a medium-sized taboo void world that was just born, so it is not surprising that he came out this time. The powerhouses of the Heavenly Emperor Palace have been staring at the human world, so after Yi Tian came out of the human world, he was quickly locked by the powerhouses of the Heavenly Emperor Palace and reported to the many palace masters of the Heavenly Emperor Palace. Yi Tian has been hiding his breath, so no one knows that he is already in the invincible Dao ancestor realm, and they think he is the strongest Dao ancestor. Tiandi Palace. The Golden Crow Palace Master learned that Yi Tian had left the human world and went to the Forbidden Void world that had just appeared, so he decided to send the half-step ancestor to kill Yi Tian. Immediately, the 5 palace lords of Qinglong Palace, Junwu Palace, Suzaku Palace, Tianlong Palace, and Star Palace were ready to kill Yi Tian. If the half-step ancestors under the realm of all things are divided into 4 levels, the early stage, the middle stage, the later stage and the peak, the body of the Golden Crow Palace Lord belongs to the peak level, and the Qinglong Palace Lord belongs to the later stage. Level, Palace Lord Junwu and Palace Lord Suzaku belong to the middle stage, while Palace Lord Tianlong and Star Palace belong to the 29th level in the early stage. But the 5 palace masters united, even the half-step ancestors of the level of the Jinwu Palace Master can fight for a while. Although they are not opponents, they can barely compete for a while. Therefore, they believe that the 5 palace masters joined forces to kill a supreme Taoist ancestor. If they still can't succeed, then simply commit suicide. The newly born Forbidden Void Realm, Yi Tian came here very quickly. According to the plan, he began to collect forbidden strange artifacts, and everything was very normal. It didn't take long for Yi Tian to feel a strange atmosphere coming. Under the shroud of copying talent, he felt the existence of 5 half-step ancestors. And they showed the identities of the 5 Taoist ancestors one by one. The Qinglong Palace Master, the Junwu Palace Master, the Suzaku Palace Master, the Tianlong Palace Master, and the Starry Sky Palace Master are really generous. They sent 5 half-step ancestors to attack and kill me at once, and even the powerful half-doctors like the Qinglong Palace Master. The ancestors of the steppe field have sent me, and they really look down on me. Yi Tian thought to himself. Of course, he also knew that the Heavenly Emperor Palace was to ensure that he was 100% successful in assassinating him, not necessarily that he really looked down on him. After all, the Heavenly Emperor Palace does not want to fail either. As if Yi Tian didn't discover their existence, he continued to move forward and search for forbidden strange objects. Just when Yi Tian found a top-level forbidden strange item and was about to collect it, the Azure Dragon Palace Master and the others launched an attack. Boom! Palace Master Junwu, Palace Master Suzaku, Palace Master Tinlong, and Palace Master Starry Sky all blocked the void and suppressed Yi Tian, while Palace Master Qinglong launched a sure-kill blow. A ray of light pierced through in an instant, and the power was strong enough to seriously injure the weaker half-step domain ancestor. If the half-step domain ancestor with core life-saving ability, I am afraid that it can be killed with a single blow. 9 pole armor. Yi Tian motivated this defensive taboo technique. Boom! Qinglong Palace Master's attacking Forbidden Dao technique bombarded the Juji armor, but did not break Yi Tian's defense, but only made Yi Tian take a few steps back. Seeing that Yi Tian was fine, the Qinglong Palace Master was shocked. How can this happen? How can you be okay? Qinglong Palace Master couldn't believe it. Soon, he discovered that Yi Tian had broken through and was no longer the Supreme Dao Patriarch but an invincible Dao Patriarch. Damn, he broke through. Palace Master Suzaku said coldly. Kill him at all costs, this is the best opportunity, if you miss it, it will be very difficult to kill him. The main road of Qinglong Palace. Immediately, the 5 Palace Masters exploded their full strength one by one, the taboo weapons were revealed one by one, and various secret treasures were urged one by one. At the same time, they were holding 5 pieces of Heavenly Emperor artifacts, and they vowed to kill Yi Tian. You can't kill me alone. 1. Yi Tian said coldly. I saw Yi Tian holding the sky-slaying spear, poke lightly, and silently attack the weaker Heavenly Wolf Palace Master. This blow directly hit the Heavenly Wolf Palace Master and pierced his body. You are the Dark King. The main team of Qinglong Palace was confirmed, because the Dark King can also use this taboo technique. Anyone's taboo technique is the only one, and there is no such thing as the same taboo technique for 2 people, so Yi Tian is undoubtedly the Dark King. So what? Yi Tian has no hidden meaning at all. The attack of the 5 major Palace Masters is difficult to hurt Yi Tian, and any attack of Yi Tian can hurt them, especially the Heavenly Wolf Palace Lord, who is attacked by Yi Tian again and again, and the life-saving things are quickly exhausted. The key point is that Yi Tian's forbidden Taoist Shadow Thorn is too difficult to defend, it arrives almost instantly and cannot be defended at all. After several attacks, the Heavenly Wolf Palace Master was seriously injured and dying. Palace Lord Tinlong, you withdraw first. The main road of Qinglong Palace. The Heavenly Wolf Palace Master nodded and hurriedly prepared to escape. However, Yi Tian used the Forbidden Dao technique Shadow Escape to chase the past and cast Shadow Thorn again. Under this blow, the Heavenly Wolf Palace Master was on the verge of death. He panicked. Palace Master Qinglong, save me. The Lord of the Palace of Heavenly Wolf asked for help. However, everything is useless, Yi Tian's Shadow Thorn is almost insoluble, and other people can't stop it. Puff. The Shadow Thorn penetrated the head of the Heavenly Wolf Palace Master, completely obliterating the last trace of his vitality. The Lord of the Palace of Heavenly Wolf has fallen. Wanfa Daozu, you are courting death. The Qinglong Palace Master was angry. However, they are not Yi Tian's opponents at all. Yi Tian's strength is probably still higher than that of the Golden Crow Palace Master. The 5 Palace Masters are not Yi Tian's opponents when they join forces, not to mention that there are only 4 Palace Masters left. If it wasn't for the fact that they were still holding the Heavenly Emperor Palace, their combat power would have been increased, otherwise they would have collapsed and died. Soon, the Star Palace Master was also seriously injured by Yi Tian. At this time, Qinglong Palace Master 480 knew that the interception plan had completely failed. The plan now is to let a half-step ancestor of the realm of all things come to kill Yi Tian, the ancestor of the Tao of 10,000 laws, unless there is no other way, because the Golden Crow Palace Master is not Yi Tian's opponent. Tiandi Palace. The master of the Shuangui Palace flew out of the Tiandi Palace and went to the Forbidden Void Realm, ready to support the Qinglong Palace Master and the others. But not long after the Shuangui Palace Master flew out of the Tiandi Palace, he was stopped by one person. Your Excellency is the Shuangui Palace Master of the Tiandi Palace, where are you going? The visitor spoke. Who is your Excellency? The Palace Master Shuangui frowned. He did not know the other party, but the hostility of the other party was very obvious. Black Wind Mountain, Dao ancestor of Yan Krak. Yan Krak Daozu said with a smile. The Dao ancestor of the Black Wind Mountain, what are you stopping me? Shuangui Daozu asked. It's nothing, it's just that the half-step ancestors of your Heavenly Emperor Palace intercepted our invincible Taoist ancestors in Haifeng Mountain. Let's not talk about such shameless things. If we don't support Haifeng Mountain, neither can your Heavenly Emperor Palace support. Yan Krak Daozu said coldly. Yi Tian notified Haifeng Mountain the first time he was attacked, so Haifeng Mountain also knew about the situation. Therefore, Haifeng's current task is to stop the other half-step ancestors of the Tiandi Palace. As one of the ancestors of the half-step domain of the realm of all things in Haifeng Mountain, he naturally had to stop the Taoist Shuangui, who was also the ancestor of the half-step domain of the realm of all things. Chapter 1247 Don and Hash 039, T kill the Palace Master Junwu. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Boom. Daozu Shuangui and Daozu Yan Krak fought, and the strength of the two sides was similar, so it was difficult to distinguish the winner in a short time. Soon, Tiandi Palace knew that Shuangui Daozu was intercepted, and immediately dispatched the second half-step domain ancestor of the realm of all things Sky Palace Master. But the Sky Palace Master was also intercepted halfway, and the one who shot was the meniscus Daozu of Haifeng Mountain, who was also a half-step domain ancestor of the realm of all things. The appearance of the ancestors of the half-step domain of the realm of all things caused an uproar. It was only at this time that many Taoist ancestors learned that there were so many ancestors in the realm of all things, who were stronger than the Palace Master of the Golden Crow, and they were all shocked. But they did not dare to intervene in such a war, and could only spy on it secretly. This is a contest between Tiandi Palace and Haifeng Mountain, and it is hard to say who will win. Tiandi Palace. The Master of the Golden Crow Palace said. Lord Longying Palace, the half-step ancestors of the realm of everything in Haifeng Mountain are dispatched, and our ancestors of the realm of all things are not necessarily more than the other party. Even if we send the ancestors of the realm of all things, it is estimated that it's just showing strength. I see, the Lord of the Dragon Shadow Palace said slightly. Immediately, he walked out of the Tiandi Palace and went to the Forbidden Void Realm to rescue the Azure Dragon Palace Master and the others. Longying Palace Master, let's chat. A half-step domain ancestor stopped the Dragon Shadow Palace Master. Roll. The Lord of the Dragon Shadow Palace gave a cold drink, turned into a forbidden dragon, and rushed towards the opponent with an extremely terrifying attack power. If the ordinary half-step ancestors faced this taboo technique, they would be instantly killed into nothingness, and even the half-step ancestors of the realm of all things could not resist this move. However, the man was so calm that he used a defensive taboo technique, turning it into a mask to block the Dragon Shadow Palace Master. Boom. In this collision, the Dragon Shadow Palace Lord flew out backwards, but the half-step domain ancestor was very indifferent, as if he had not received any impact. Returning to one realm half-step domain ancestor. Who are you? The look of the Lord of the Dragon Shadow Palace changed dramatically. He has always guessed that Haifeng Mountain has a half-step ancestor of the Unification Realm, but he has never been sure. But now, Haifeng Mountain has indeed dispatched the half-step ancestors of the returning One Realm. Officially introduce, I am the owner of Mount Haifeng Mountain Function W. Function Mountain Lord opened the mouth and said. Function Mountain Master. I always thought the Mountain Master of Haifeng Mountain was a legend, but I didn't expect it to actually exist. You can really hide it, and even Hao Hai Heizu doesn't know your existence. The Dragon Shadow Palace Master said coldly. He was curious as to how the Mountain Master Function managed to hide so much power. After all, the Hao Hai Sea realm was under the control of the Hao Hai Sea ancestor at the beginning. He could probe all places, but he did not probe the headquarters of Haifeng Mountain. Confused. The Hao Hai Sea realm is not a domain created by the ancestors of the Hao Hai Sea. He just inherited the Hao Hai Sea realm. Strictly speaking, it is only half of the realm, so it is impossible to explore all the places. We Black Wind Mountain want to hide the nature. It's not difficult. The main road of Function Mountain. The Dragon Shadow Palace Master knew that his strength should not be as good as Function Mountain Master, and it was a bit difficult to pass from Function Mountain Master. Function Mountain Master, this time it is our Heavenly Emperor Palace's fault, but our Heavenly Emperor Palace has already lost a Palace Master, so what's the matter? I will bring back the Qinglong Palace Master and the others, and you will take Wanfa Dao Ancestor away, so that everyone can all good. The Lord of the Dragon Shadow Palace suggested. I'm sorry, I don't agree. Function Mountain Master said. your Heavenly Emperor Palace arbitrarily intercepted our invincible Daozu of high function, and the invincible Daozu to your 5 half-step ancestors is not bullying you, but you bullying We Haifeng Mountain. We Haifeng Mountain didn't say anything. What qualifications do you have to say? Master Function, do you really want to go to war? Our Heavenly Emperor Palace is a legendary force. If we use the trump card left by Hao Hai Heizu, it will not be difficult to destroy your Black Wind Mountain. The Lord of the Dragon Shadow Palace threatened. Ha ha ha, destroying our Haifeng Mountain, even your Hao Hai Sea ancestor did not dare to destroy our Haifeng Mountain, why would you? Function Mountain Lord sneered. The Lord of the Dragon Shadow Palace was in a hurry, and the Lord of Function Mountain simply did not take their Heavenly Emperor Palace in his eyes, and threats were useless. The other side, Yi Tian was still fighting with Palace Master Qinglong, Palace Master Junwu, Palace Master Suzaku, and Palace Master Starry Sky. And Star Palace Master was seriously injured and dying, tried to escape, but did not escape, and was struck by Yi Tian's body. In the end, the Palace Master of the Starry Sky was nailed into the void by a great-level dark coal spear, and he completely fell and died. With the fall of the Star Palace Master, Qinglong Palace Master, Junwu Palace Master and Suzaku Palace Master are no longer opponents. This time, Yi Tian was targeting the Palace Master Junwu, because the Palace Master Qinglong was the strongest, and it was a bit troublesome to kill the Palace Master Qinglong, while the Palace Master Suzaku had a quick recovery and a strong ability to save his life. Only the Palace Master Junwu was the best to kill. Puff! Junwu Palace Master's body was pierced, and he was severely injured all at once. With another blow, Palace Master Junwu was knocked flying, cracked all over, and was in a very serious state of serious injuries. Just when Yi Tian was about to attack Junwu Palace Master again, a voice entered Yi Tian's soul. Brother Yi, don't kill Palace Master Junwu. Hearing this voice, Yi Tian knew the identity of the other party, it was Ouyang Zhuor. Immediately, he became enlightened. So, he started attacking Palace Master Suzaku and Palace Master Junwu, and occasionally attacking Palace Master Junwu, but he just didn't kill Palace Master Junwu. At the same time, he sent a message to the half-step ancestors of Haifeng Mountain, and asked Haifeng Mountain to negotiate with the Tiandi Palace, asking for some benefits, and he would not kill the Palace Masters of the Tiandi Palace. Longdiang Palace Master, your Heavenly Emperor Palace still has 3 Palace Masters in the Forbidden Void Realm, and we High Function don't want to kill too many of your half-step ancestors. So, you Heavenly Emperor Palace pay some price, I will let Wanfa Daozu leave, how about it? Function Mountain Master suggested. Dragon Shadow Palace has an idea. He knew that the situation of Qinglong Palace Master and the others was too dangerous. If he did not agree, he would probably lose another Palace Master. 30 Dark Winged Eagle Scales, 10 Squares of Blood, and 30 Bones, plus 10 Forbidden Treasures, how about it? Function Mountain Master suggested. You or robbery? The Lord of Dragon Shadow Palace Mo Qian's was furious. This is not a robbery. At the beginning, your Heavenly Emperor Palace also gained a lot, and these compensations should be nothing. If we had gone all out in high function, your Heavenly Emperor Palace would not be able to get any benefits. Now that you want this thing, you can't bear it. Function Mountain Master said with a smile. Although the Dragon Shadow Palace Master did not participate at the beginning, he also knew that what the Function Mountain Master said was right. Well, I agree. The Lord of the Dragon Shadow Palace gritted his teeth. Immediately, he took out these treasures and handed them over to Function Mountain Master. And Function Mountain Master also asked the other half-step ancestors to inform Yi Tian, the ancestor of all things, and let Yi Tian stop it. Ha ha ha, Qinglong Palace Master, I will spare you this time. If you attack me next time, you will not have such good luck. 1. Yi Tian laughed loudly. Immediately, he escaped into the void and disappeared. Chapter 1248 Daughter of the First Emperor of Heaven, Ouyang Zhu and #039, Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Survived. Palace Master Junwu breathed a sigh of relief. Palace Master Suzaku and Palace Master Qinglong also relaxed, both of them were not lightly injured, they could be regarded as serious injuries. If they continue to drag on, the 3 of them are in danger of falling, because the gap between the 2 sides is too great. The strength of Wanfa Daozu is actually second only to the half-step ancestor of the realm of all things. I am afraid that even the real ancestor of the realm of all things may not be able to kill him. It must be the top half-step ancestor of the realm of all things to be expected to kill him. Qinglong Palace Master sighed. Wow, a figure appeared, and it was the Lord of the Dragon Shadow Palace. Are you all right? Asked the Lord of the Dragon Shadow Palace. It's okay, it's just that the Palace Master of Starry Sky and the Palace Master of Heavenly Wolf have fallen. Palace Master Qinglong said with emotion. This matter will be settled slowly in the future. This time, in order to prevent Wanfa Daozu from killing you, our Heavenly Emperor Palace has paid a small price, but as long as you don't fall, it will be worth it, said the Master of Longying Palace. Immediately, the Dragon Shadow Palace Master left with the Qinglong Palace Master and the others, and returned to the Heavenly Emperor Palace. The other side, Yi Tian was summoned back to Function, where he met the Master of Function. Function Mountain Master is a young man who looks very kind, but his eyebrows reveal a fortitude. I have seen the Mountain Master. Yi Tian bent down and bowed his hands. Wanfa Daozu, you are very good. You are Invincible Daozu Realm 480 against the 5 half-step ancestors, and you also killed 2 half-step ancestors. The combat power is second only to the half-step ancestors of the realm of all things. Such a talent as even me. I've never seen it before. Function Mountain Master praised. Thank you for the praise from the Mountain Master. Yi Tian said calmly. This is the compensation from the Heavenly Emperor Palace. The Mountain Master Function handed Yi Tian the resources extorted from the Dragon Shadow Palace Master. After Yi Tian received it, he checked it a little and was overjoyed. These are all things from the Darkwing Dapeng Eagle. The value is too high, and it is almost difficult to obtain. Even no one trades in the Black Wind Mountain, and the points cannot be exchanged, because the blood of the forbidden bloodline creatures, bones and scales are real treasures and they are consumable treasures that everyone lacks. Go and practice well, the main road of Function Mountain. Yes, Yi Tian nodded and stepped back immediately. Yi Tian's body has always been in the human world, and the only thing that came out is just a copy of the body, so the copy body is not afraid of being attacked again. After contacting Ouyang Jor, Yi Tian met her soon. 9 children, Yi Tian shouted. Ouyang Jor immediately said, Brother Yi, thank you for not killing Palace Master Junwu. She knew very well that if Yi Tian killed Palace Master Junwu would never survive. At the same time, she was also very shocked that Yi Tian's combat power was so powerful that it was much stronger than she is now. In fact, she is also very powerful, but she has no way to cultivate the forbidden Taoism to the realm of great achievement. The gap between the Daocheng and Shaocheng of the taboo Taoism is incomparably huge, it is a world of difference. Moreover, Yi Tian's Dao is far stronger than her Dao, and her potential and limit are stronger than her. Therefore, once Yi Tian breaks through to the invincible Dao ancestor level, his combat power is extremely terrifying. Now, Ouyang Jor knew that he would compete with the weaker half-step ancestors at most 1 or 2 times. Such fighting power is really not enough. Moreover, to her current level, the accumulation of the previous life is completely exhausted, and the progress in the future will be very slow. Jor, why did you tell me not to kill Palace Master Junwu? Yi Tian was curious. Palace Master Junwu is my eyeliner. Ouyang Jor said. Sure enough, Yi Tian has actually guessed this, because Ouyang Jor is very aware of the intelligence of the Tiandi Palace, and the source of the intelligence CJFI must come from a certain half-step domain ancestor. This time Ouyang Jor asked him not to kill Junwu Palace Master, he naturally guessed. Jor, the Lord of Junwu Palace should be the ancestor of the half-step domain from the Heavenly Emperor Palace, why would he betray the Heavenly Emperor Palace and give you a tip? Yi Tian was very puzzled about this. Actually, the Lord of Junwu Palace did not betray the Heavenly Emperor Palace, because I am also a member of the Heavenly Emperor Palace. It should be said that I was a member of the Heavenly Emperor Palace in the past. Ouyang Jor sighed. What? Yi Tian was shocked. This news is so amazing. Ouyang Jor turned out to be a member of the Tiandi Palace, but Ouyang Jor had been targeting the Tiandi Palace before. For example, robbing the Guangling Han Palace of the Emperor Guangling, beheading the Taoist ancestor of the Tiandi Palace, these things, Ouyang Jor does not look like a person from the Tiandi Palace at all. As Ouyang Jor spoke slowly, Yi Tian gradually understood the truth of the matter. It turned out that Ouyang Jor was a very ancient half-step domain ancestor in his previous life. He was the master of the Hanyu Palace of the Tiandi Palace, in charge of the Hanyu Palace, and was also the daughter of the first emperor of the Tiandi Palace. It can be said that Ouyang Jor was already there in the early days of the establishment of the Tiandi Palace. However, at that time, her talent was not high, and she didn't like training very much, so her strength was not strong. Later, with the full assistance of the first emperor, she cultivated to the realm of half-step ancestors, but it was only one of the most advanced weak half-step domain ancestors. But her status is different, she is the son of the Emperor of Heaven. How high is her status? The first heavenly emperor was not a domain ancestor, but a half-step domain ancestor in the reunification realm, but he was also a member of a powerful legend-level force in the realm of the gods, so the heritage of the Tiandi Palace was very strong. It's a pity, a chance to compete, Originally, Yang Jor's elder brother was supposed to take over the throne of Heavenly Emperor, but then High Ancestor ordered people to ambush the Heavenly Emperor's son, beheading the Heavenly Emperor's son who was already at the half-step ancestral level of the realm of all things, and became the second incumbent. God. After obtaining the resources and background of the Heavenly Emperor Palace, coupled with the talent of the High Sea ancestor still above the first Heavenly Emperor, and successfully grabbed the position of the World Lord of the High Sea realm, he was successfully promoted to the Domain Ancestor. And Yang Jor never dared to return to the Heavenly Emperor Palace, and has been chased and killed by High Hezu's people. The Palace Lord who was loyal to the first Heavenly Emperor at the beginning died more or less because of certain things in the future, and the later Palace Lords were all from High Hezu. The Palace Master Junwu was different. He was a Palace Master from the bottom. Ancestor High didn't know that the Palace Master Junwu was Yang Jor's subordinate, so he always reused him. Palace Master Junwu is also good at hiding, and has never revealed his identity. A long time ago, Yang Jor knew that he could not take revenge, so he found a treasure of reincarnation and was reincarnated in the vast sea world. Unexpectedly, before it had grown up, the Battle of the Broken Domain broke out, and the entire domain was shattered. Brother Yi, this is my biggest secret. Yang Jor told the story. Chapter 1249 The Mysterious Man Who Devoured the Chaos Continent. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Jor, in the future, I will help you destroy High Sea ancestor. Yi Tian comforted. Thank you, Brother Yi. Yang Jor only took Yi Tian's words as comfort. After all, how powerful High ancestor is, he is a real domain ancestor, and he is not weak among domain ancestors. Now that so many years have passed, who knows how High ancestor has the strength of the ancestors of the sea increased. Yi Tian's talent and potential are indeed terrifying, but this kind of talent may still be effective at the Taoist master level, but what about the domain ancestor level? I don't know how many amazing genius Tao ancestors, after breaking through to the domain ancestor, it became very normal, and there was no way to improve their strength for endless years. Basically, just breaking through the realm of the domain ancestor is the limit of their life. Therefore, she did not expect Yi Tian to really avenge her. In fact, she also felt that her hope of revenge was very low, and at most it would cause some trouble for the 480 system of the Heavenly Emperor Palace. Afterwards, Yi Tian and Yang Jor separated. Yi Tian returned to the human world and took out the benefits he had obtained from the Heavenly Emperor Palace this time. The scales of the Dark-Winged Dapong Eagle can be used to create defensive armor. Basically, one scale can create a pair of armor, and the defense is still above the top-level taboo level defense armor. The weapons above the forbidden treasure are called domain devices. The half-step domain ancestor can create a half-domain device. The half-domain device is very powerful. Of course, there are many powers to be mobilized, but it can save lives at critical times. Yi Tian didn't have time to build a half-area device, so he entrusted High Function to build a half-area device-level defensive armor for him. Then, he handed over some dark-winged eagle skeletons, as well as many rare mineral veins and sky-killing spears he had collected to Haifeng Mountain, and let the half-step domain ancestors who specially made weapons in Haifeng Mountain transform the sky-killing spear for him. Strive to upgrade the sky-slaying spear to the level of the half-domain device. After doing all this, Yi Tian continued to retreat and practice. Tiandi Palace. This time, the fall of the Heavenly Wolf Palace Master and the Starry Sky Palace Master really shocked the Heavenly Emperor Palace. Many people can't imagine that the two half-step domain ancestors actually fell into the hands of Wanfa Daozu. Many of them are the strongest Daozu and invincible Daozu who have dealt with Wanfa Daozu, and they admit that Wanfa Daozu is very powerful. But no matter how powerful it is not enough to kill two half-step ancestors. Moreover, this time, the 5 half-step ancestors joined forces to kill Wanfa Daozu, and even the Qinglong Palace Master made a move, but he was still not an opponent. The main hall of Tiandi Palace. The Dragon Shadow Palace Master was in a very bad mood, and the other Palace Masters were also very unhappy. Wanfa Daozu's climate has become, it is more difficult to kill him. Shuangui Palace Master said. Yeah, the strength of the Daozu of Wanfa should be infinitely close to that of the ancestor of the half-step domain of the realm of all things, and he will know many taboo Dao techniques. More importantly, he has only broken through the invincible Daozu, and there is still a considerable amount of room for improvement. It is estimated that more before long, he is afraid that he will be able to have the combat power of the real half-step ancestor of the realm of all things. At that time, it will be too difficult for us to kill him. Unless the Dragon Shadow Palace Master assassinates him, we can easily kill him. The Lord of the Thunder Tribulation Palace said. Forget it, let's not target the ancestors of the Wanfa Dao. Our final task is to promote the Xuanxu Ancient Realm to the Holy Realm, or even the Taboo Realm. Once the Taboo Realm is successfully born, we will be able to lead the Hao Hai Sea ancestor. At that time, the ancestors of all things and the masters of Function Mountain will all be ants. The main road of the Dragon Shadow Palace. Many palace masters nodded one by one, fully agreeing with the words of Dragon Shadow Palace Master. They worship and respect the ancestors of the Hao Hai Sea very much. In front of the ancestors of the Hao Hai Sea, even the most powerful half-step ancestors of the unified realm are just ants. What can they resist? Even if the Taoist ancestor is allowed to grow up, can he grow to the level of the ancestor of the domain? Disaster. Too difficult. Therefore, they do not necessarily have to kill Wanfa Daozu now. The next topic discussed by the Lord of the Dragon Shadow Palace was transferred to how to develop and expand the Heavenly Emperor Palace, and no longer discussing Yi Tian, the ancestor of the Tao of 10,000 Laws. The Daoshan realm is very large, and the Xuanxu Ancient Realm only occupies a small area, which is far from being comparable to the entire realm. Therefore, there are too many creatures in the entire Daoshan area, and there are also many remote areas. This day, somewhere in the Daoshan boundary, a universe stands here. Unexpected. A figure appeared here, staring at the universe and said excitedly, "Hey, I found another universe with no background, swallowed this universe, and my strength can be improved a little bit. This is how many I swallowed. The universe is coming. Oh, when I think of it, it seems to be the 30,000th universe." As soon as he finished speaking, he opened his mouth and took a breath, and the universe turned into a small ball and entered his mouth. Then, the universe collapsed, turning into countless energy and being swallowed up by him. As for the countless creatures in the universe, they also fell and died. This person left this area again, looking for the next universe, occasionally passing by some chaotic continents, and directly swallowing it up. In short, he only devoured the universe and the chaos continent. He has been doing this for many years. Of course, he is not stupid, and he will not devour the universe and the chaos continent that are under the command of the great forces and are more valued, so it is easy to be discovered. But there is no absolute, no matter how careful he is, there is still a mistake on this day. Just when he devoured a chaotic continent, a young man showed an illusory figure, which was the mark of an invincible Taoist ancestor. Obviously, this young man is a named disciple of the invincible Tao ancestor. "Who is your excellency? You dare to devour this chaotic continent, don't you know that this is a chaotic continent under the command our Wanyu Temple?" The invincible Daozu said coldly. Noisy. The mysterious man snorted coldly, the phantom shattered, and the young man completely fell and died. But soon, the mysterious man left here and disappeared without a trace. The Temple of All Realms. Banyu Daozu was very annoyed. He found a good seedling in the Daoshan realm. His talent is very high. In a barren place like Chaos Continent 5.8, he can cultivate to the true ancestor level in a short period of time. What a high potential. He plans to lead the other party to the ancient realm of Xuanxu in the near future. As long as he cultivates it well, it will be enough to cultivate the other party to the level of the invincible Taoist ancestor within 100,000 years, and there is even a glimmer of hope to hit the level of the supreme ancestor. However, his named disciple fell, and he was swallowed up by a mysterious person in the Chaos Continent. Under normal circumstances, the strong will not devour weak creatures, except when the battle spreads. But deliberately swallowing a chaotic continent is equivalent to cutting off the source of genius. This kind of behavior is basically prohibited by the major forces, and if it is discovered, it will definitely be severely punished. Which force's Taoist ancestor did it? Banyu Daozu sent a group of Daozu to investigate, but the results of the investigation soon came as a surprise. Chapter 1250 Devouring a Family. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. The Taoist ancestors of the Temple of 10,000 Domains investigated in the Daoshan boundary, and found that many chaotic continents in the universe had disappeared. In fact, some small forces also know about these things, but some cosmos and chaos continent are not big things at all, so no one cares. But now it is different. The Temple of 10,000 Domains came to investigate in person, and those forces who took refuge in the Temple of 10,000 Domains reported the disappearance of the universe and the chaos continent, which attracted the attention of the Temple of 10,000 Domains. A large number of universes and chaotic continents have disappeared, and they are basically universes and chaotic continents in remote territories. Daozu Banyu frowned. Obviously, this is someone who is constantly devouring the universe and the chaos continent to improve their strength. But under normal circumstances, it is useless for Dao ancestors to devour the universe and the chaos continent. But since that person is constantly devouring the universe and the chaos continent, he is not interested, and must use this method to cultivate. Strange, I haven't heard of any Taoist ancestor who would devour the universe and the chaotic continent to cultivate. 1. Daozu Banyu wondered. Although he didn't know who the enemy was, Daozu Banyu naturally couldn't just forget about it. He constantly sent people to track the mysterious man, and once an enemy's universe or chaos continent disappeared, he would immediately block that territory. 29. It's a pity that the enemy's speed is too fast, and the people of the Temple of 10,000 Domains have not tracked it once. But as time goes by, more and more universes disappear, more and more chaos continents disappear, the mysterious man seems to have more and more courage, thus attracting the attention of many forces. After all, for many major forces, the universes and chaotic continents in the Daoshan realm are also one of the sources of genius. If the number is large enough, they can also provide a lot of geniuses. Therefore, the behavior of the mysterious man angered many forces. Black Wind Mountain. For the first time, Yi Tian entered Haifeng Mountain as the ancestor of Wanfa Dao, and opened a meeting with the other half-step ancestors. To Yi Tian's surprise, the content of this meeting turned out to be about the mysterious Taoist ancestor who devoured the universe. Yi Tian was very shocked. This kind of thing should not be very important, it would actually attract the attention of Haifeng Mountain, and there are so many half-step ancestors coming to the meeting. This meeting also came to a half-step ancestor of the realm of all things, that is, the ancestor of the flame crack. There were a total of 11 Taoist ancestors who participated in the meeting. Among them Yi Tian was familiar with the Eternal Taoist, Shenshu Taoist and Zhengjin Taoist. For Yi Tian, the invincible Taoist ancestor, to participate in such a meeting, no one would make any comments. Everyone knows that Yi Tian fought against the 5 half-step ancestors alone, and even the top half-step ancestors like the Qinglong Palace Master, and also killed 2 half-step ancestors. This kind of strength is second only to Yan Krak Daozu. The realm of all things is half-step domain ancestor. How dare these ordinary half-step ancestors dare to question Yi Tian, isn't that slapped in the face? The meeting opened, and Daozu Yan Krak opened his mouth and said, "Recently, there have been mysterious Daozu who continue to devour the universe and the chaos continent. Even in some territories controlled by our Black Wind Mountain, many universes and chaos continent have disappeared. To the outside world, this is not a problem. What a big thing, after all, no Taoist ancestors have fallen. But after our investigation, this matter is not simple. No matter how simple it is, it's just some ordinary universes and chaotic continents." Eternal Daozu said, "What if this matter involves the devouring clan?" Yan Krak Dao ancestor said solemnly. Some half-step ancestors heard the devouring of the family, and they were a little confused, not knowing what this meant, but the expression of the Eternal Daozu and the Shenshu Daozu suddenly changed dramatically. The two of them are also extremely ancient ancestors of the half-step domain, so they have heard of the devouring clan, and they also know what this clan represents. The devouring clan is a legend. How could there really be a devouring clan in the Xuanxu ancient world? Eternal Daozu questioned. Look at this. 1. Daozu Yenj took out a black scale the size of a thumb, which showed a relatively rare rule, which seemed to be able to swallow energy, and was constantly swallowing the vitality around him at this moment. Is this the scale that devours a clan? Eternal Daozu recognized it. That's right. Daozu Yan Krak nodded. Not long ago, there was a fluctuation somewhere in the Daoshan boundary. I immediately went to check. The other party left early, and did not leave any breath or clues. But the other party, it should have just broken through the realm and left this piece of scale fragment. And this fragment is the body surface scale of the devouring family. The appearance of the devouring clan is a big trouble. Eternal Daozu frowned. What is the devouring clan? Yi Tian asked. Yan Krak Daozu explained. The devouring family is a special race in the realm of the gods. It is rumored that in a long time ago, a world gave birth to self-consciousness and began to evolve towards living beings. Since no one disturbed its evolution, it ended up with the world has been transformed into a humanoid creature and can be cultivated. In the end, it became a domain ancestor, and devoured many universes, worlds and chaotic continents, and also selected a group of potential worlds to help them transform. This group of world shapers are called the devouring clan, so they like to devour the world, the universe and the chaos continent, and even if they grow to their peaks, they will even swallow the realm. Fortunately, the devouring clan is not enough to devour the world by itself. So they won't go to great lengths to cultivate more clansmen, and at their peak there will be 100 or so clansmen. But the growth of every devouring clan is accompanied by the fall of countless worlds and the death of countless creatures. In the end, a batch of 480 the ancestors of the domain surrounded and killed the devouring clan, and finally paid a very heavy price to destroy the devouring clan. Since then, the devouring clan has completely disappeared, and only exists in the books of the major forces. Devouring the evolution of the world, there is still such a family. Yi Tian was very surprised. At this moment, he also understood why High Function was nervous. Because once the devouring clan grows up, even the ancient realm of Xuanxu will be swallowed up, and the small realm of Haifeng Mountain will probably be swallowed up. Ancestor Yan Krak, can you judge what realm the devouring clan powerhouse is in based on this scale? Yi Tian asked. Half-step domain ancestor level. Yan Krak Daozu judged, and it should have just broken through to the half-step ancestor level. It has swallowed up too many universes and chaos continents, and no one has paid attention to it. If it is in the realm of God, it has no chance at all. Devour so many universes and chaotic continents. It is already very dangerous to swallow a clan at the half-step ancestor level. Once you make further progress, you can become the half-step ancestor of the realm of all things. It is very difficult to kill the opponent. Half-step domain ancestor, that is a real disaster. The top priority is to find this devourer, and then kill him. Yan Krak Daozu ordered. Chapter 1251 found a devourer. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Consistent with Black Wind Mountain's actions, the Heavenly Emperor Palace also knew about the devouring clan, and also dispatched the ancestors of the half-step domain to find the devouring clan. After all, the Heavenly Emperor Palace does not want to let the devouring clan grow up. Once the devouring clan grows, it will definitely target the Xuanxu ancient realm. Once the Xuanxu ancient world is swallowed up, even if they can survive, they will have no foundation, and their plans will be completely destroyed. Therefore, they must stop the devourer. In the ancient world of Xuanxu, a mysterious little world, 3 figures were shrouded in mist and came here to gather. The identity of our devourer has been discovered. Who leaked the whereabouts? One of them spoke up. I didn't act. Although our devourers can grow rapidly only by swallowing the world in large quantities, they can also cultivate. In these years, I only occasionally devoured some new worlds and universes, and most of the time I was in retreat and penance. This matter has nothing to do with me, I am also an ancient devourer after all. Back then, our devourer was so arrogant that it was almost wiped out. I can remember the lesson and dare not expose it casually. It's not me either, my cultivation has reached a limit, and I have to devour the world above the top realm before I can progress, and there are so many top realms in the Daoshan realm, once I swallow one, it's easy to be exposed, so it's not me. It should be a new swallowing clan, but it is very difficult for our swallowing tribe to be born. Without the help of the swallowing tribe's predecessors, relying on self-evolution to form a human form, it is comparable to our swallowing tribe's swallowing ancestors. We all have to be careful to devour each world. Where will another devourer be cultivated to seize our resources? If it's not the 3 of us, it's not likely to be a self-evolved phagocytic clan. Could it be that other phagocytic clans have sneaked in? It's very likely that you said it would be the devourer of Daoshan realm. Are you saying that the phagocytic clan was born in the mountain boundary itself? It is unlikely that the engulfing clan was born so easily. The 3 devourers discussed for a long time, but nothing was discussed. But they decided to be more low-key and stop swallowing a world. If they take the blame for that swallowing clan, that would be wrong. After Yi Tian returned from function, he also began to look for the devouring clan. There should be a devourer in the ancient world of Xuanxu. Others don't recognize the devourer. Unless they fight against the devourer, once the devourer hides, they are no different from normal creatures. But the devourer will definitely not be able to hide my copying talent, once I keep using it. If you copy the talent exploration, you may be able to find the traces of the devourer. Yi Tian muttered. In the following days, Yi Tian has been letting the cloned body use the clone talent to probe the creatures in every territory. He didn't believe that the devouring clan could hold back from seclusion and could not come out. Once they came out, they might be discovered by him. Years have passed, Yi Tian has not found much, and Haifeng Mountain and Tiandi Palace have not made any big gains in the Daoshan realm. Obviously, the devouring clan is hidden very deep, and it is not so easy to find. In a blink of an eye, thousands of years have passed. Yi Tian has been exploring the ancient world for thousands of years. He doesn't know how many territories he has explored. He has even probed back and forth dozens of times in some places, but he has never found anything, but he has gained some Dao-level natural talents. It is useless to say it, but it can be given to others in the future. This day, Yi Tian came to a starry sky continent, and the copy talent shrouded the entire continent, through screening to determine whether there is a devourer here. Suddenly, a person's talent situation caught Yi Tian's attention. Devourer, Kurosaki, devouring talent, Dao level, world talent, Taoist, source talent, super god level, origin talent, super god level, source speed talent, super god level, dark talent, super god. The devourer finally found it. Yi Tian was very excited, but he didn't act immediately. Because the strength of this devouring clan is not weak, the situation detected by duplicating the talent and the introduction of this devouring clan, this is a devouring clan at the half-step ancestor level of the realm of all things, and it is estimated to be stronger than his strength. Therefore, with his own strength, he can't do anything about this devouring clan. Once he starts, this devouring clan will definitely escape. At that time, it will be difficult for him to find this devouring race again. Immediately, he sent a message to Yan Krak Dao ancestor, saying that he had found the trace of a devouring clan, and his strength was estimated to be the half-step ancestor level of the realm of all things. Wind Mountain. Daozu Yan Krak received Yi Tian's message and quickly informed Function Mountain Master. Mountain Master, the Taoist ancestor of all things sent a message. He found the devourer, and said that the devourer has the strength of the ancestor of the half-step of the realm of all things. I don't know if this information is true. Yan Krak Taoist said. The owner of Function Mountain whispered, whether it is true or not, can't you find out if you take a look? Anyway, for his high function, even if it is an intelligence error, there is no loss. Jin Chen, Wind, 1, Nether Sea. You three go with Yan Kai. If the information is true, be sure to catch the devourer, and don't let the people from the Heavenly Emperor Palace take the lead. Function Mountain Master ordered. Whoa. The three half-step ancestors of the realm of all things walked out of nothingness, came to the front of the Function Mountain Lord, and cupped their hands. Yes, the Mountain Lord. Immediately, Daozu Jinchen, Daozu Fengshu, Daozu Minghai Mo Qians plus Daozu Yan Krak, a total of 4 ancestors of the realm of all things half-step domain went to the place where Yi Tian was. Soon, they came to Yi Tian's side. I have seen 4 Taoist ancestors. Yi Tian said politely. Yan Krak Daozu asked. Wanfa Daozu, where is the swallowing clan of the half-step ancestor level of the realm of all things that you said? Just there. Yi Tian locked the swallowing clan. Kurosaki threw his breath. Immediately, Yan Krak Daozu and the others locked onto Kurosaki. At the moment, Kurosaki was drinking tea in a famous mortal restaurant when he was suddenly locked in by a series of breaths, and he suddenly panicked. What are you panicking about? It is estimated that a few half-step ancestors are a little curious to see my name half-step ancestor appearing in such a small mortal town. They don't know my identity. As long as I don't expose, they don't know who I am. Devours. Kurosaki thought to himself. Chapter 1252 Seal Kurosaki. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Kurosaki was very calm and did not reveal any flaws, but it was impossible to ignore the few half-step ancestors. After all, the other party's breath has locked him. If he pretends not to know, then there must be a problem. Swish. Kurosaki shuttled to Wanfa Daozu and the others, and said, I don't know how many of you locked me with your breath. Yi Tian took the lead and said, Your Excellency is relatively unfamiliar, and he is also a half-step domain ancestor, so we just want to get to know you. Your Excellency should not be the half-step domain ancestor of the Heavenly Emperor Palace, right? Of course I'm not the half-step ancestor of the Tiandi Palace, I'm a loose cultivator. Kurosaki said quickly. So this is Yi Tian nodded slightly. Unexpected. Yi Tian and Yan Krak Daozu started working together, and the 5 taboo fields bound Kurosaki layer by layer. At the same time, they also attacked Kurosaki by attacking the forbidden Taoism. In this battle, Yi Tian was just an assistant, constantly using shadow thorns to affect Kurosaki, but in fact, he couldn't deal too much damage. After all, the opponent's strength was the half-step ancestor of the realm of all things, and it was not the kind that had just broken through. Instead, he has entered the realm of all things for a long time, and his strength is even stronger than the ancestors of the realm of things. What do you mean by that? Kurosaki said angrily. It doesn't make any sense, it's just that your identity is a devourer. Why do you say we should deal with you? Yi Tian said. How would you know? Kurosaki was shocked. He thinks that he hides well, and it is almost impossible to be discovered, and he has never been in contact with Yi Tian and Yan Krak Daozu before. How could Du Fu recognize his identity at a glance? Boom. There were dense black scales on Kurosaki's body, constantly swallowing the forbidden Taoist energy of Yi Tian and others, coupled with his strong defensive ability, so it was only a minor injury. But he undoubtedly exposed his identity in this way. It was the devouring clan. It really is the devourer. Yan Krak Dao ancestor, and their eyes are extremely cold. When encountering the devouring race, there is no doubt that they will kill them. This is the iron law. After all, the growth of the devouring clan is equivalent to compressing their cultivation space. Once the devouring clan grows up completely, they will lose their cultivation environment, and it will be difficult for them to progress in the future. CJFI. Therefore, the devourers and the practitioners are mortal enemies, and there is no possibility of relief at all. Escape. Kurosaki didn't want to fight with Yan Krak Daozu and the others, because the number of devouring clan is too small now, and there are too many half-step ancestors in the ancient world of Xuanxu, and there are even half-step ancestors in the returning realm. How can he dare to delay? Otherwise, he will definitely lose. Only by fleeing and hiding whereabouts can we survive. However, 5 half-step ancestors besieged him. If Yi Tian is also considered to be a half-step ancestor of the realm of all things, then it is the 5 ancestors of the half-step realm of all things. Kurosaki does not have the strength to compete against the 5 ancestors of the 5 realms of all things, and the 4 ancestors of the realm of all things in Haifeng Mountain are not weak. Among them, Jinshin Daozu is stronger than Yan Krak Daozu, and can be called the top all things. Realm half-step domain ancestor. The reason why the devourers are terrifying is that they can easily devour the world, which is something no one else can do. However, the devourers are very poor in practice. For example, it is too difficult for the devourers to create forbidden Taoism. If the devourer race grows fast enough, it is not difficult to become the ancestor of the domain, otherwise it will not be besieged and killed by the practitioners. Therefore, the phagocytic clan cannot fight at the same level. For example, although Kurosaki is the ancestor of the half-step domain of the realm of all things, he does not possess the Tao of the realm of all things. Not the same as the cultivator system. Strictly speaking, Kurosaki is equivalent to the half-step ancestor of the ultimate realm of all things in terms of realm, but the combat power is only considered strong among the half-step ancestors of the realm of all things, but it is not regarded as the top. This is also one of the defects of the devourer. If there were no flaws, the devourers would be unstoppable. As the battle began, Kurosaki has been in a state of being hanged and beaten, but the devourers have the world's source to consume and can quickly recover from injuries. As long as the world's source is sufficient, it is difficult to kill. Of course, once the source of the world is severely depleted, the cultivation base of the devouring clan will even decrease, which is very strange to practitioners, but the devouring clan is like this. Everyone, the devourer who devoured the universe and the chaos continent recently is not me, and I don't know him. I have been practicing honestly and rarely devour the world. There is no wanton devouring of living beings. Kurosaki explained. No need to explain, even if it's not you, but you are the devourer, and we are mortal enemies. The reason why you dare not devour a large number of worlds is not because of your own weakness. If there is no one in the ancient world of Xuanxu who is your opponent, you should have run out and devour the world. Jin Chen Daozu sneered. Kurosaki did not refute this. In fact, the same is true. Because of his timidity and caution, he did not devour the world in large quantities, but if no one else was his opponent, and he was invincible in the ancient world of Xuanxu, he would have devoured the world in large quantities long ago. With the passage of time, Kurosaki Daozu couldn't hold it anymore, and his breath became unstable, because he consumed too much world origin, and his realm could not be maintained. But if you don't use the origin of the world to restore the injury, you will not be able to bear it, and will inevitably fall and die. However, as he continued to repair the injury, it was inevitable that his defense would start to decline. For example, if a cultivator breaks his hand and then regenerates a hand, the strength at the beginning is definitely not as good as the original hand, and it takes a certain amount of time to temper and break in. The same is true for the devouring race. The new scales and flesh are not as good as the original flesh, and it takes time to recover and temper. However, during the battle, there was no time for him to recover. Unexpected, Yi Tian's shadow thorn silently stabbed Kurosaki's neck, pierced through the past, and really hurt him for the first time. Then, the attacks of Jinshin Daozu also came one by one, causing heavy damage to Kurosaki. After a while, Kurosaki couldn't stand it anymore. Catch him alive, Jin Chen Daozu proposed. Immediately, the four ancestors of the half-step domain joined forces to display the technique of sealing, and quickly sealed Kurosaki, who was seriously injured and dying and whose cultivation was greatly reduced. With the blessing of one after another sealing technique, Kurosaki was sealed into a black boulder, completely unable to move. Everything Daozu, we immediately return to Function Mountain and bring this devouring clan back to the Mountain Master. The ancestral way of Yan cracked Dao. Yi Tian nodded. Immediately, the group returned to Function. Chapter 1253 The Guess of Jinshin Daozu. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Feng Shanshan mainly captures Kurosaki alive, which naturally has the meaning of interrogation. With Function's background, even if Kurosaki is determined, it is difficult to keep his secrets. About 10 days passed, and Daozu Yan Crack informed them about the results of the interrogation. Isn't Kurosaki doing it? Yi Tian frowned. He thought that what Kurosaki said that day was false, but he did not expect that the devourers who devoured the universe and the chaos continent in the Daoshan realm were really not him. What surprised Yi Tian even more was the information behind. According to the information detected by the master of Function Mountain, there are 3 devouring races in the Xuanshu ancient realm, all of them are half-step ancestors comparable to the realm of all things, and one of them is in the midst of promotion. In the words of the realm, or a few forbidden void realms, he can even become the ancestor of the half-step domain of the normalization realm. But the devourer was very cautious and did not dare to take the lead. Moreover, the devourer who was so arrogant in the Daoshan realm is not the devourer they know at all, and they don't know what the identity of that devourer is. It's hard to do. Yi Tian frowned. He thought that the devourers were all hidden in the ancient world of Xuanshu, but he didn't expect that even Kurosaki, the devourer, didn't know the identity of the mysterious devourer. What this meant, he knew very well. That is to say, the devouring clan is very likely to be another devouring clan force, and there is only one now. If there are more than one devouring clan, the threat will be too great. The point is, if the other party is hidden somewhere in the Daoshan boundary, he can't detect the existence of the other party at all, because the Daoshan boundary is too big, he may not be able to use the copy talent to detect the hundreds of millions of years. Other side. In other words, their action this time was a failure. Of course, it can't be considered a failure. At least one devourer has been captured, and he has also learned that there are 2 devourers in the ancient world of Xuanshu. This is already very precious intelligence information. High Function also gave this information to the Heavenly Emperor Palace. After all, the matter about the devouring clan is not a matter of the High Function family. All forces need to be united to avoid the expansion of the devouring clan. Otherwise, it would be difficult to find out the traces of the devouring clan if it was just the actions of the Blackwind Mountain family. In the following days, the forces of Tiandi Palace and High Function dispatched 10 half-step ancestors to trace the traces of the devourers in the Daoshan boundary, and at the same time established temporary bases in the Daoshan boundary to monitor them all the time. The situation in each area of the Daoshan boundary, once the universe disappears and the chaos continent disappears, you can immediately know the situation. Of course, this may not necessarily be able to find the other party, it just increases the hope of finding it. The Daoshan boundary is too large, and the Haifeng Mountain and the Tiandi Palace are understaffed and cannot fully monitor the entire Daoshan boundary. In fact, there is another way, that is to send a large number of true ancestors and Dao ancestors to monitor the entire Dao Mountain realm, but once they encounter the devouring clan, they will almost certainly die. After all, the devouring clan is very powerful. Those Dao ancestors and the true ancestor is simply an ant to the devouring clan, and he is not even qualified to resist, so he can only use his life as a warning. Therefore, once this is done, many true ancestors and Dao ancestors will naturally not be willing. The true ancestor and Dao ancestor are also the foundation of power, and naturally they will not sacrifice at will. Therefore, Tiandi Palace and High Function did not implement this plan, and still just let the ancestors of the half-step domain investigate, hoping to investigate useful information. This day, a piece of news came, which shocked many people. Because at the same time, the 2 very distant universes in the Daoshan boundary disappeared. This represents a signal. There are more than one devouring clan that is swallowing the universe in large numbers in the Daoshan boundary, at least 2. One devourer and 2 devourers represent completely different meanings. If there is only one devourer, it may be a personal behavior. Once the devourer is killed, it will be fine. But if the 2 devourers do this, it may be a collective behavior, representing a devourer forced to devour the universe, the world, and the chaotic continent of the Daoshan realm, threatening the safety of the entire Daoshan realm. This day, the Palace Master Lei Jia and the Palace Master Shuangui in the Dao Mountain realm started a meeting with Jin Chen Daozu and Yan Krak Daozu of Haifeng Mountain to discuss the situation of the devouring clan. At the meeting, Jin Chen Daozu said, "According to our investigation, the two devouring clan that appeared this time, one is the half-step domain ancestor level, and the other is the invincible Dao ancestor level, which should be regarded as a relatively young devouring clan. And we previously captured a devourer of the half-step domain ancestor level in the Xuanxu ancient realm. The information we got from him was that they only knew that there were 3 devourers in the Xuanxu ancient realm, who came with the fragments of the domain. In the Daoshan realm, they do not know that there are other devouring clan. The devouring clan was almost killed in a long time ago, and only a few devouring clan are left to sleep and avoid killing. According to our speculation, the devouring clan there should be not many, and there are no such arrogant devourers. So, we have a very bold guess." "For flowers, what guess?" the Palace Master Lei Jia asked curiously. "It is very likely that the devourers who are devouring the universe in the Daoshan realm do not come from our God Heaven realm, but belong to the Daoshan realm themselves." Point 0. Jin Chen Daozu guessed. "Impossible." The Palace Master Lei Jia shook his head and denied. "The Daoshan realm is so weak, how could a devourer be born? If there is a devourer, the Daoshan realm would have been long before we came here. Destroyed by the devourers. What if this group of devourers has been sleeping? It's only now that they wake up." Jin Chen Daozu said with a smile. "You mean?" Palace Master Lei Jia's expression changed drastically, and he had a guess in his heart. "It's exactly what you think in your mind. Jin Chen Daozu. The Daoshan boundary is very likely not the first cultivator civilization, but the second or even the third cultivator civilization era. If it was before, the devourer clan existed, and then devoured all the universes, worlds, and chaotic continents, and fought with the cultivator civilization, just like the war in the ancient times of our God Heaven realm. The only difference is that war was won, but the war in the Daoshan realm was lost. The practitioners in the Daoshan realm were all wiped out, the world was gone, the universe was gone, the chaos continent was gone, and the entire realm was nothing. Then, a group of devourers entered the dark forbidden area, and a group of devourers chose to sleep, waiting for the next batch of cultivators to flourish. When the other half-step ancestors heard this guess, their expressions suddenly changed drastically. If the guess is true, then this time is really a disaster for the Xuanxu ancient realm and even the entire Daoshan realm. Chapter 1254 The Corpse of the Taoist Ancestor in the Dragon and Snake Forbidden Area. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. If there is a civilization in the Daoshan boundary before this, it will definitely leave a trace, and it is impossible to erase it all. The Palace Master of Thunder Tribulation said. Well, there will indeed be traces of traces. For example, there may be clues in some forbidden areas, but they must be the top forbidden areas. Next, we will explore those forbidden areas and hope to find something. Jin Chen Daozu suggested. Immediately, Tiandi Palace and High Function decided to let the ancestors of the half-step domain enter those forbidden areas in the Daoshan boundary. Before that, they didn't look down on the forbidden area of Daoshan realm, because apart from Xuanxu ancient realm, there is no place in Daoshan realm that can compare to Xuanxu ancient realm. Even if it is Xuanxu ancient realm, a forbidden treasure is far away, it is far more precious than the largest treasure in the Daoshan area. Therefore, they did not go to investigate the major forbidden areas and some treasures in the Daoshan area at all. Only those weak forces in the 480 would be interested in the forbidden areas in the Daoshan area, but the strength of the weak forces was too low, did not dare to enter those top forbidden areas. Before the ancient world of Xuanxu was born, even Daoshan, the first transcendent force, did not dare to enter some top forbidden places, because it could even bury the life of a 5th-level Taoist ancestor, and Daoshan Taoist did not dare to enter. Yi Tian received a message from Daozu Jinshan and the other half-step ancestors of the realm of all things, and knew their guesses. Belonging to the devouring clan of Daoshan realm. Yi Tian was also shocked by this guess. If the guess is true, this is a bigger threat than the 3 devouring races in the Xuanxu ancient realm. The devouring clan in the divine heaven realm was almost wiped out, and the few remaining devouring clan had no threat at all, and were very timid. Before, those few devouring clan had almost no place to stand in the divine sky realm, and only when the fragments of the How High Sea realm flew into the dark forbidden realm did they risk sneaking in. In fact, they did not dare to come forward at all, for fear of being killed. But the devourers in the Daoshan realm are different. If it is true, then they at least destroyed all the worlds, universes and chaotic continents in a realm. To what extent should they grow? Will there be swallowing at the ancestor level? Clan. But it is not necessarily, because even if the devouring clan at the ancestor level was born, there was nothing before the Daoshan boundary, and the devouring clan at the ancestor level was unwilling to continue to wait here. Because even if the Daoshan realm reborn the universe, the chaotic continent and the Dao realm, it will not help them much, and they can continue to grow unless they devour the realm. However, the Daoshan boundary may not be able to give birth to the ancestors, which is almost a probabilistic problem. Therefore, it is very likely that the devouring clan of the ancestors of the domain left the Daoshan realm and went to the depths of the dark forbidden realm. Therefore, the devouring race left behind will not be too many, nor will it be too powerful. Of course, this is just speculation. Wow, Yi Tian left the ancient realm of Xuanshu and entered the chaotic void in the realm of Daoshan. This time, he was also dispatched by copying his body. After all, the action this time was a bit dangerous, and he might encounter a powerful devourer. In fact, Yi Tian's body will almost always sit in the human world from now on, and going out is basically done by copying his body. In the Daoshan boundary, a famous half-step ancestor went to the top forbidden areas in the Daoshan boundary. The more dangerous the forbidden area, the more attracted the half-step ancestors to go. And Yi Tian also chose a forbidden place, the forbidden place of Dragon and Snake. The Dragon and Snake Forbidden Land is a very ancient forbidden place in the Daoshan area. The years of existence are almost immeasurable. There are a group of dragon and snake chaotic beings living in it. But in fact, the strength of the dragon and snake is not very strong, and the strongest is only comparable to the triple heaven ancestor, but the biggest threat of the dragon and snake forbidden area is from the special field unique to the dragon and snake forbidden area. Even if the 5th layer Tiandao ancestor enters the dragon and snake territory, he will be suppressed in strength. Zhu will also fall. The key is that there is nothing good in the Dragon and Snake Forbidden Land, so no Taoist ancestors are willing to enter it. This day, Yi Tian came to the outside of the Dragon and Snake Forbidden Land, looked at the huge forbidden area in front of him, without hesitation, shuttled into the Dragon and Snake Forbidden Land. As soon as he entered the Dragon and Snake Forbidden Land, a special domain suppression struck, but for Yi Tian, such suppression was not very powerful, it only suppressed less than 10% of his strength. If Yi Tian used the taboo domain, then this so-called suppression would have no effect. Therefore, entering the Dragon and Snake Forbidden Area does not affect Yi Tian's strength. Boom! A dragon and snake with a length of 10,000 miles drilled out from the nothingness, trying to attack Yi Tian. Most of these dragons and snakes are only at the true ancestor level, and they are only equivalent to the elite true ancestors. There are only a few dragons and snakes at the Taoist level, and they are only the Taoist ancestors of the first and second layers of heaven. In the past, such a large-scale dragon and snake group was naturally terrifying, but with the birth of the Xuanshu ancient realm, the strength of the Daoshan realm was many times stronger than in the past. This scale is simply too ordinary. Die! Yi Tian's breath was shocked, and countless dragons and snakes were instantly killed. Even the dragons and snakes of the first and second layers did not survive, and they all died. Yi Tian went deep into the forbidden area of dragons and snakes step by step. Once the dragons and snakes attacked him, they all died, and none of the dragons and snakes could survive. In a short time, Yi Tian went deep into the depths of the Dragon and Snake Forbidden Land, and I am afraid that even the former Daoshan Daozu has never been here. Unexpected, Yi Tian saw a dragon and snake mountain range that spread over 1,000,000 miles, exuding a terrifying aura. It's not a mountain range, it's a dragon and snake at the level of Taoist ancestors. Yi Tian muttered, judging from the breath, the strength of this dragon snake is very strong. It should have the 5.8 strength of the 7th heavenly Tao ancestor, but it died here, and then turned into a mountain range, and those dragon snakes were basically bred from this mountain range, its descendants. Before the Daoshan realm, the most powerful one was the Daoshan Daozu, who was only the 5th level heavenly Daozu, but in this forbidden area, the dragon snake chaotic life of the 7th level heavenly Daozu level was born. Yi Tian was a little surprised. Beyond the mountain range, he continued to go deeper. Soon after, he saw a corpse, strictly speaking, the corpse of a practitioner, and it was not one corpse, but 5 corpses, and they were 5 corpses at the ancestor level. The 5 corpses were floating in the void, and there were fragments of weapons around them. 1 corpse of the 7th heavenly Tao ancestor, 4 corpses of the 6th heavenly Tao ancestor. Yi Tian took a deep breath, he knew exactly what it meant. Chapter 1255 The Method of the Palace Master Shuangui. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Before the Daoshan realm, there were no 6 or 7 heavenly ancestors at all, and these corpses have existed for too long, and they have even begun to petrify. They must be the ancestors who fell a long time ago. Therefore, these Dao patriarchs are the local Dao patriarchs in the Dao mountain realm. Sure enough, before the era of cultivation civilization in the Daoshan realm, there was a heyday of cultivation civilization. If this is the case, then the devouring clan may really exist, and it has also wiped out the Daoshan realm. Yi Tian said very solemnly. Afterwards, he continued to investigate, but found no traces. A long time ago, treasures should have been born here, which attracted the killing of Taoist ancestors, and these fallen Taoist ancestors were undoubtedly losers. They fell here, but the treasures on their bodies were taken away, leaving only the corpses. Swish, Yi Tian took the 5 corpses and left the dragon and snake forbidden land. Not long after, Yi Tian has returned to the ancient world of Xuanshu. Wind Mountain, Yi Tian entered here and saw Jin Chen Daozu and the others. As for Function Mountain Master, who was in retreat, he did not appear. However, 29 Jinshan Daozu appeared as an incarnation, and his body was still being investigated in the Daoshan boundary. Jin Chen Daozu, I have a great discovery. Yi Tian took out the corpses of the 5 Taoist ancestors and placed them in front of Jinshan Taoist. These are the 5 corpses of the 6th-7th level Taoist ancestors that I took out from the dragon and snake forbidden land. They have existed for a long time and have been petrified. Yes, but before, the strongest Daozu in the Daoshan realm was only the 5th layer Tian Daozu. Therefore, I guess that these 5 Daozu corpses were the Daozu in a civilized era before the Daoshan realm. I am afraid, your previous guess is real. Jin Chen Daozu's face was solemn, and he carefully inspected the 5 Daozu corpses, confirming that their existence is indeed extremely long, and they are not fake corpses. Trouble, I also found some clues on my body, I'll be back later. Jin Chen Daozu Dao. Soon after, Jin Chen Daozu returned. A few days later, Yi Tian started a meeting with Jinshan Daozu, Yan Krak Daozu, Fengshu Daozu, Minghai Daozu, as well as the Thunder Tribulation Palace Master, Shuangui Palace Master, Sky Palace Master, and Heaven Punishment Palace Master of Tiandi Palace. At the meeting, Yi Tian took out the 5 Dao ancestor corpses again. And Jinshan Daozu took out an ancient book and some weapon fragments, and other Daozu also took out some things or Daozu's corpse one after another. Judging from what everyone has collected, the Daoshan realm did indeed give birth to a powerful cultivation civilization before that, perhaps not as good as the God Heaven realm, but there are quite a few Dao ancestors in the 6th and 7th layers, and even invincible Dao ancestors. Jin Chen Daozu said, everyone's expressions are not good looking, who knows that there is a devouring clan force in the Daoshan realm, who cannot panic. At the beginning, the devouring clan of the God Heaven realm created a great disaster for the God Heaven realm, and the ancestors of the domain who died in battle were above double digits. If the devouring clan of Daoshan realm has a domain ancestor, then they can't compete, unless they also have a domain ancestor on their side. However, how could the ancestors be born so easily? According to the current evidence, there is indeed a devourer clan force in the Daoshan realm, but we don't know what its strength is. The result we are most looking forward to is that most of the Devourer clan entered the Dark Forbidden area and did not return, leaving only the more weak group of Devourers. The Palace Master of Thunder Tribulation looked forward to it. The most urgent task is to find this group of Devourers, and then confirm their strength. If their strength is far beyond ours, then wait and don't conflict with them. If they are not strong, they will be destroyed at all costs. Jin Chen Daozu suggested. The Devourers should be hidden in a special world, just like the small realm of your Haifeng mountain, which is generally difficult to find. The Devourers in the God Heaven realm were hidden very deeply, and the ancestors also paid a huge price. Only then did we find the headquarters of the Devourers, so we started a war with them, paid a huge price to destroy the headquarters of the Devourers, and almost wiped out the Devourers. It may be difficult for us to find the hiding place of the Devourers, unless we can track a Devourer. The premise of tracking the Devourers also needs to find a Devourer. The 3 Devourers in the Xuanshu ancient realm have no connection with the Devourers in the Daoshan realm, so they can't be counted on. What can you do? Anyone who has a solution will come up with it. If you pay a lot of money, everyone is willing to share some of it, so that you will not suffer. At this time, the mysterious Turtle Palace Master of the Tiandi Palace said, well, I am willing to peel off the mysterious turtle shell on my body and divide it into pieces, and these pieces can be integrated into the universe. It must have swallowed my mysterious turtle shell fragments. With the swallowing ability, it will take a long time to digest my mysterious turtle shell, and I can track the other party's whereabouts through special induction, so as to determine the other party's location. However, in this case, the price I pay is very high, and the defense will be very weak for a long time, so I need to get some compensation from the Black Wind Mountain. How? Can. Jin Chen Daozu agreed. Immediately, the master of Shuangui Palace negotiated compensation with several ancestors of the 480-level half-step domain of Haifeng Mountain. In the end, Haifeng Mountain was willing to pay for some dark-winged eagle scales and 3 precious taboo treasures, as well as treasures for repairing the body. In the days that followed, the Shuangui Palace master divided his mysterious turtle shell into 100,000 parts and sent them to the 100,000 universes in the Daoshan realm. Of course, there are far more than 100,000 universes in the Daoshan boundary, and even more than 100,000 fractions, but as long as these 100,000 mysterious turtle shell fragments are sent into these universes, they will be scattered across the Daoshan boundary. Once the devourers devoured the universe, they would always devour the universe containing the fragments of the mysterious turtle shell. Therefore, the half-step ancestors of Tiandi Palace and Haifeng Mountain only need to wait. Just like that, the days passed. Since the devouring clan only devoured the universe occasionally, after all, the other party also needs time to consume the universe, the world and the chaos continent, so they will not devour all the time. In the blink of an eye, 30,000 years have passed. At this time, Yi Tian's forbidden body has greatly improved, and it has been tempered to the level of 90%. In addition, after cultivating the inheritance of the extreme way, he has made great progress in the physical body, forbidden Tao power and soul. In terms of strength, Yi Tian is now comparable to the half-step ancestor of the realm of all things. Chapter 1256 The Strength of the Devouring Clan. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. This day, the mysterious Turtle Palace master of the Tiandi Palace sent a message to Haifunction, saying that he had sensed a fragment of the mysterious turtle shell moving, proving that the universe had been swallowed up. Shish, a famous half-step domain ancestor was dispatched, and Yi Tian also dispatched. This time, Heavenly Emperor Palace and Haifeng Mountain sent a total of 7 ancestors of the realm of all things, and Yi Tian's words, that is a full 8, almost a total dispatch. After all, the Heavenly Emperor Palace also has 4 half-step ancestors of the realm of all things. A chaotic void somewhere in the Daoshan boundary. A devourer was flying and shuttled. His name was Tengfang. He had just swallowed a universe, and he was going to devour a few more universes before returning to his residence. There seems to be something more difficult to digest in the universe that has just broken through. Tengfeng whispered to himself. He had no doubts about this. After all, some universes gave birth to some relatively solid things, and it was normal for them to be difficult to consume. But the devouring race can digest everything, it just takes time. Therefore, he didn't care much. Tengfeng flew for a while, and suddenly felt that the void around him was frozen, and then one after another silhouette appeared beside him. Half-step domain ancestor. Tengfeng's expression changed drastically. He is only invincible Daozu realm, and he is still far away from the half-step ancestor. Even if he really becomes the half-step ancestor, his combat power is still at the weaker level among the half-step ancestors. Domain ancestor. Moreover, other devourers will definitely not rescue it, because they are all selfish, and no one is willing to take risks. Besides, everyone has no blood relationship, they are all individuals, and there is no teacher-disciple relationship, so why should others save him? Therefore, he can only rely on himself. Escape. Tengfeng tried to escape, but all in vain. The 8 ancestors of the half-step domain of the realm of all things came to encircle him, and it was strange that he could escape. Wow! Jin Chen Daozu came to suppress it with one hand, and easily captured Tengfeng. Go, immediately return to the ancient world of Xuanxu. Jin Chen Daozu said solemnly. The others did not waste time and immediately shuttled away, for fear that a more powerful devourer would arrive. Without knowing the information, they dare not fight against the devourers. After a while, everyone returned to the ancient realm of Xuanxu, which was a sigh of relief. This was their base camp. This devourer is handed over to Haifunction for us to deal with, and after interrogating the information, we will share it with you Heavenly Emperor Palace, how about it? Jin Chen Daozu suggested. Yes, but after your interrogation, if you don't die, how about handing it over to our Heavenly Emperor Palace? Said the Palace Master Lei Jia. No problem, Jin Chen Daozu agreed. Swish. The Taoist ancestor of Haifeng Mountain was separated from the Taoist ancestor of Tiandi Palace, and Yi Tian also followed Jinchen Taoist back to Function Mountain. After the swallowing clan Tengfeng was brought into function, he handed it over to the master of function for interrogation. In a blink of an eye, a few days passed. The master function sent a message to everyone. He wanted to personally hold a meeting at the half-step domain ancestor level. Everyone must be in a dojo, and Yi Tian also obtained the qualifications to participate in the meeting. Function, Conference Hall. Function Mountain Lord appeared, followed by Jinchen Daozu, the ancestors of the half-step domain of the realm of all things. And this time, Yi Tian finally learned how many ancestors of the half-step domain of the realm of all things Function had. There were 8 in total, including the newly promoted ancestor of the half-step domain of the realm of all things Mia Wei Daozu. In addition to the 8 half-step ancestors of the realm of all things, Haifeng Mountain also has 23 half-step ancestors. Such a number is already exaggerated, perhaps more than the half-step ancestors of the Heavenly Emperor Palace. At the meeting, Function Mountain Master said, I have already interrogated the swallowing clan that I just arrested, and the information I got from him is very unfavorable for us. The results of your previous investigations are not wrong. Before this era of cultivation civilization, there was another era of cultivation civilization, but that era was wiped out by the devouring clan. In that era, the devouring clan gave birth to more than one domain ancestor. Specifically, how many domain ancestors, that swallowing clan was too young, so I don't know. But according to what the devouring clan knew, it seems that the ancestors of the engulfing clan entered the dark forbidden area for a higher realm, and have never returned. This is probably the best news. Of course, we can't be sure. The other party must not have a domain ancestor. What if there is a domain ancestor hidden? Many half-step ancestors nodded and agreed with Function Mountain Master's statement. Immediately, the Mountain Master of Function continued. According to the information, the devouring clan currently has roughly 160 clansmen, including 4 ancestors of the half-step domain of the homeland, 22 ancestors of the half-step domain of the myriad realm, and 7 ancestors of the ordinary half-step domain. 13, the rest belong to the realm below the half-step domain ancestor. 1. So many devours. The crowd was shocked. What is the concept of the 4 half-step ancestors of the homification realm? The Heavenly Emperor Palace is currently only a half-step ancestor of the homification realm. Other than that, there are only 2. Of course, there may be other half-step ancestors hidden in the ancient world of Xuanshu, but they do not have any advantages compared to the devouring clan. The most important thing is that the devouring clan has 21 ancestors of the realm of all things, and there are not 21 ancestors of the realm of all things in Haifeng Mountain and the Heavenly Emperor Palace. Far better than the devourer. On the whole, the high-level combat power of the devouring clan completely destroyed Haifeng Mountain and the Heavenly Emperor Palace. Mountain Master, are you ready for information? Jin Chen Daozu asked. 100% true. The main road of Function Mountain. Mountain Master, if the devourers attack our Xuanshu ancient realm with all their strength, our Xuanshu ancient realm may not be able to stop it. A half-step domain ancestor frowned. I estimate that the devourers should have just woken up, or they are also waiting for the growth of the mysterious void realm, such as the birth of more worlds like the forbidden void realm. In that case, they will have enough worlds to swallow. Otherwise, there will be no worlds to swallow. The meaning of money of their recovery is not much. Function Mountain Master said. Everyone nodded, and felt very reasonable. The real goal of the devourers is the world. Only when more worlds are born can they grow faster. Otherwise, they will not be swallowed up by the world, and internal conflicts will occur. Moreover, the half-step domain ancestor of the Unity realm does not want to start a war at present, because even if a mysterious ancient world is completely swallowed up, they may not be able to be promoted to the domain ancestor. If the Forbidden Void realm is promoted to the Ancient realm, or the level comparable to the Domain realm, or even the Taboo realm, it will launch an attack, thereby engulfing their world, and thus hitting the Domain ancestor level. To put it simply, the devouring clan raised them as GU. The only advantage of the Xuanshu Ancient realm is that the hidden power has not been revealed, and the devouring clan has insufficient intelligence. He believes that the Xuanshu Ancient realm is far inferior to the devouring clan, and there is no major threat, so there is still more time left for the Xuanshu Ancient realm. Chapter 1257 3 Refining the Void. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Mountain Master, what should we do next? Jin Chen Daozu asked. Function Mountain Master was silent for a while, and said, next, try not to leave the ancient world of Xuanshu. Even if you want to leave, you must dispatch at least 3 of them together, which is safer. In addition, I am going to open functions soul refining, body refinement and Tao refinement are 3 refinements to the void. What? To open the 3 refinements void? Jin Chen Daozu and the others were shocked. The Sanlian void is the most precious treasure of function. It may not be as valuable as the Eternal Origin Stone statue, but in a certain sense, it is more precious than the Eternal Origin Stone statue, because the San Lian Void is aimed at directly enhancing the strength of the Taoist ancestors, while the Eternal Origin Stone is more valuable than the Eternal Origin Stone statue. Originium statues cannot instantly increase the strength of Tao ancestors. Normally, function would not be able to open the third refinement void at all. Because the cost of the construction of the third refinement void is too high, and some special treasures from the dark forbidden area are used, and it is a consumption-type special treasure. Once it is exhausted, the three refinements void is equivalent to waste. Moreover, every time the third refinement void is activated, the resources consumed are difficult to calculate. Even a half-step domain ancestor is not necessarily qualified to enter the three refinement void to practice. For example, among the many half-step domain ancestors present, only a few half-step domain ancestors entered the three refinement void once, and most of the half-step domain ancestors had not entered the three refinement void, and did not even know the existence of the three refinement void. Yi Tian didn't know about the three refinements void, so he sent a voice transmission to the Eternal Tao ancestor, who was familiar with him, and asked the Eternal Tao ancestor about the three refinements void. Eternal Tao ancestor immediately responded to Yi Tian and informed the situation of San Lian Void. It turned out that the so-called three refinement void was used to temper the soul, body and Tao power of the ancestors, and it was tempered in a way of crushing and regeneration. Birth compression. If it is in the outside world, if Daozu tempers like this, it is equivalent to courting death. But in the three refinements void, Tao ancestor will hardly die, but will only endure unimaginable pain. How much benefit he can obtain depends on how long he can persevere. The first time entering the three refinement void has the best effect, the second time is the second, and the third time is almost hopeless. Once the three refinements void is opened, Haifeng Mountain may be able to give birth to several or even more than 10 half-step ancestors, and perhaps several half-step ancestors of the realm of all things. This is very important for the current situation and can relieve the pressure on the Black Wind Mountain. In order to be able to contend against the devouring clan, Black Wind Mountain can be regarded as revealing his trump card. At this time, the Mountain Master of Function announced, "This time I am going to select 20 top priority from the invincible Taoist ancestors to enter the three refinement void, and all the half-step domain ancestors can also enter the three refinement void. But the half-step domain ancestors we must pay a lot of taboo strange things, otherwise our treasure house in Haifeng Mountain will not be able to support so many Taoist ancestors to enter the three refinement void tempering." I think everyone has no opinion, right? No comment. 1.5-step ancestors said quickly. What an opportunity to be able to enter the third refinement void to practice, even if they were asked to pay all the forbidden and strange things on their bodies, they would not object. Originally, Yi Tian was an invincible Tao patriarch and could enter the three refinements void for free to practice, but Function Mountain Master and other half-step domain patriarchs did not regard him as an invincible Tao patriarch at all, and they also asked him to pay for forbidden items. Yi Tian also honestly handed over a lot of taboo wonders. After all, he estimated that he insisted on it for a long time, and the cost was higher than that of other half-step ancestors. If he didn't pay for the forbidden wonders, it would be too much. Subsequently, Haifunction shared the information about the Devourer with the Heavenly Emperor Palace, and threw the half-dead Devourer after the trial to the Heavenly Emperor Palace. The Heavenly Emperor Palace received the information from Haifeng Mountain, and interrogated the half-dead Devourer again. After confirming that the information was correct, it executed the Devourer. Tiandi Palace. CJFI. The palace masters such as the Dragon Shadow Palace Master and other palace masters looked very bad, because from the information obtained, the power of the devouring clan is too powerful, far surpassing their Heavenly Emperor Palace. Even if they join forces with Haifunction, it is not opponent of the Devourer. I propose to use the Gate of Stone Eyes again, the remaining 2 opportunities are all used up. The Lord of the Dragon Shadow Palace suggested. Agree. Agree. All the palace lords agreed, even the palace lords who knew that they had no hope of obtaining the quota for the Gate of Stone Eyes agreed. After all, only when the Heavenly Emperor Palace was strong could they survive this crisis, otherwise the Heavenly Emperor Palace would be gone, and they would also gone. Therefore, at this time, it is not a question of who the opportunity belongs to, but a concerted effort to help the Heavenly Emperor Palace grow its strength. After discussion, the Heavenly Emperor Palace gave the remaining 2 places to the Palace Master of Lei Jia and the Palace Master of Heavenly Punishment. Their strength is not weak, and their potential is also good. It can be said that as long as another half-step ancestor of the reunification realm is born, the pressure of the Heavenly Emperor Palace will be much less, and it will also have the confidence to face the devouring clan. Wind Mountain. Yi Tian, many half-step ancestors and 19 other invincible Dao ancestors came to an ancient stone gate. This stone gate is the gateway to the three refinements void. If there is no function mountain master to open the door, the half-step domain ancestor of the realm of everything will not be able to enter. Open. The mountain master function activated the portal, forming a void passage connecting the three refinement void. Whoa whoa whoa. An ancestor of the half-step domain and invincible Dao ancestor entered the third refinement void, and Yi Tian also entered it. When all these Taoist ancestors entered, Function Mountain Master murmured, I hope Function can give birth to more half-step ancestors and all-world half-step ancestors this time. Immediately, he sat here waiting and did not go in. The third refinement void is useful to others, but it is of no use to him, because he has entered the three refinement void many times. Three refinements void. An independent void, Yi Tian entered here, and did not perceive the traces of other half-step ancestors and invincible Dao ancestors. Obviously, everyone is out of a separate void, not together. This is also normal. If you are together, if you cultivate together, wouldn't it be easy to affect others? 3. Refine the void, refine the soul first. The soul is the most important thing. Once the soul is tempered to the extreme, it is difficult to continue to bear it. After the third refinement of the void perceives it, it will stop refining the soul and turn to refining the body. Yi Tian stood in the void, waiting for the coming of the refining soul. Chapter 1258 The Last Person. Boom. Invisible power descended into Yi Tian's soul, constantly tempering Yi Tian's soul. And this kind of tempering is forcibly tempering, completely beyond Yi Tian's soul limit. In an instant, Yi Tian's soul was shattered, but it recovered under the strange energy without any sequelae. In this way, shattered to heal and then quenched, shattered to heal and then quenched. This kind of tempering again and again makes Yi Tian's soul become stronger and stronger. Of course, the pain in this is not something that ordinary invincible Daozu can bear. Yi Tian can still endure it, because he has copied countless souls, and every fusion is very painful, so he is used to it. Soul refinement, body refinement, and Dao refinement are completely suitable for my extremity inheritance, so I can take advantage of this opportunity to practice extremity inheritance. Yi Tian thought to himself. Immediately, he began to cultivate the inheritance of the extreme path, constantly tempering his soul, and strive to temper his soul to the extreme path as soon as possible. With the passage of time, an invincible Daozu went through soul refining, body refining, and Taoist refining, but in the end he couldn't hold on, and one by one, he emerged from the void of three refinements. After being tempered by the three refinements of the void, they have reached the pinnacle on the road of the invincible Dao ancestor, and their soul, body and Dao power have all been unable to advance. The realization of the taboo completed the integration of the Dao in himself. The remaining condition is to comprehend more the mysteries of the ancestors of the domain, and many invincible Taoist ancestors also continue to enter the eternal source stone statue to comprehend. It is not very difficult to comprehend the profound meaning of the ancestors of the domain. In the blink of an eye, 3,000 years have passed. 3 invincible Dao ancestors, with the help of the 3 refinements void and the eternal origin stone statue, completely completed the accumulation of the invincible Dao ancestor level, and successfully reached the half-step domain ancestor level, becoming the new half-step domain ancestors of Haifeng Mountain. At this time, some half-step domain ancestors are still insisting on the third refinement of the void. Of course, most of the half-step ancestors were in the process of refining the body or the Dao, and only a few half-step ancestors were still in the process of refining the soul. One of them was Yi Tian, who was refining his soul. He has always insisted on refining his soul. With the inheritance of the extreme path, he was able to persist for a long time. In addition, his own willpower is very terrifying. Therefore, the 3,000 years of refining the soul is still far from reaching the limit. My soul is at least 3 times stronger than before. Yi Tian was shocked. At his level, it is very difficult to continue to improve, not to mention that the soul is more than 3 times stronger. With his current soul level, even many half-step ancestors are not as good as him. Originally, Yi Tian had no concept of when he would be able to step into the extreme level. Although he was very confident that he could step into the extreme level, he couldn't touch the limit, and he felt a little confused. But at this moment, he has vaguely felt the level of the soul. Persist in. Hold on. Yi Tian intends to directly use the 3 refinements void heaven to advance himself to the extreme level. Even if he can't advance, at least he will approach the extreme level. Time passed slowly, and it seemed like a year for Yi Tian. In the blink of an eye, another 3,000 years passed. At this time, there was only one person left among the Taoist ancestors who were still refining their souls. 3 refinements outside the void. Function Mountain Lord opened his eyes and looked at the 3rd refinement void. Although he could not completely see the situation of the 3 refinement void, he also roughly knew what the Taoist ancestors of the 3 refinement void were in. Hey, there is another Taoist ancestor who is refining the soul, who is it? Function Mountain is very curious. At this time, he is still refining his soul, so his ability to bear is too strong. Jin Chen, Yan Crack, Wind Void, Nether Sea. The Mountain Master Function recalled these half-step ancestors of the realm of all things in his mind, but when he thought about it carefully, it was not right. He had a better understanding of these half-step ancestors of the realm of all things. I didn't persist for so long the first time, and the second time the effect was much worse, so it was impossible to persist in refining the soul. Unexpected, he thought of Yi Tian, but shook his head again. Yi Tian is invincible Dao ancestor level, he does not think that Yi Tian can persist in refining his soul until now, that is not realistic. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of years have passed. At this time, Yi Tian's soul refining was approaching the limit. It is a pity that his soul has not yet been promoted to the extreme level. The level of the extreme path is really difficult. I got the Blackwood Taboo treasure to help me cultivate the inheritance of the extreme path, and now I have entered the void of the 3rd refinement, but I still haven't reached the level of the extreme path. No wonder it is mentioned in the inheritance of the extreme path that the non-talent is excellent. Those with great luck, those with great perseverance, do not go to the extreme road. Yi Tian muttered, if the ordinary invincible Daozu insisted on taking the path of the extreme road, it is estimated that he would not even think of stepping into the extreme road level in his entire life. For flowers, according to Yi Tian's estimation, his soul path is only halfway through, but this kind of progress is already very exaggerated. In terms of soul strength, he was at least 6 times stronger than before. Soon, Yi Tian's soul refining reached its limit, and the soul refining process ended. After about 3 days of rest for Yi Tian, the body training process began. Crack. In just an instant, Yi Tian's fleshly body began to crack, completely bursting into a cloud of blood, and instantly recovered under the effect of strange energy. In this way, Yi Tian continuously tempered his physical body in the process of exploding and reuniting, making his physical body stronger and stronger, and his physical strength was also rapidly increasing. And Yi Tian also took advantage of this opportunity to continue refining his body with the secret techniques in the inheritance of the extreme way, and push the body to the extreme level. Point 0. In the blink of an eye, 8,000 years have passed. The physical body is 7 times stronger, and the foundation is stronger and stronger than before. Yi Tian muttered. At this time, he had almost reached his limit, and he had no choice but to end the body refining process and start the Tao refining process. 3 refinements outside the void. A famous half-step domain ancestor resides here. Soon, the last half-step ancestor Jinshan Daozu came out. Should have come out, Yan Crack Dao ancestor said. At this time, the master of function said, Wanfa Daozu has not come out yet, he is the only one left, and he has just started refining Tao tempering. What? It's impossible, Jin Chen Daozu said inconceivably. The other half-step ancestors can't believe it. Yi Tian is invincible Daozu level, even if the combat power is comparable to the half-step ancestors of the realm of all things, it is also invincible Daozu realm. Moreover, even if Yi Tian is the real ancestor of the half-step domain of the realm of all things, he is not currently the opponent of Daozu Jin Chen, whether it is physical body, soul or Dao strength, he is not as good as Dao ancestor Jin Chen. But now, Jinshan Daozu has come out, and Yi Tian, Wanfa Daozu, has only started to practice Dao. This gap is too big. Ha ha ha, this just shows that the potential of Wanfa Daozu is unbelievable. Maybe after he comes out, his strength will be greatly improved. Even if he does not enter the half-step domain ancestor, his combat power is probably comparable to the powerful half-step domain ancestor of the realm of all things. Function Mountain Lord is happy. Chapter 1259 Disguise the Devours. Another 7,000 years have passed. On this day, Yi Tian finally completed the 3 refinement void refinement Dao tempering. The forbidden Dao power is very close to the true forbidden power. Once tempered to the extreme, his Dao power will be completely transformed into the forbidden power. At that time, his Dao strength was equivalent to stepping into the extreme Dao level. This time the harvest is too great, Yi Tian said with great excitement. Although he was not able to use the third refinement void to reach the extreme level, his strength was much stronger than before. According to his strength, he is now estimated to be comparable to the powerful half-step domain ancestor of the realm of everything. And once he enters the extreme Tao level at the invincible Tao ancestor level, his combat power will probably soar to the top all things realm half-step domain ancestor level, and then he can easily kill ordinary half-step domain ancestors. And once he has stepped into the half-step ancestor level, it is estimated that 497 will immediately be comparable to the half-step ancestor of the normalization realm, and even be able to improve his cultivation to the realm of the half-step ancestor of the realm of all things in a short period of time. Wow! The third refinement void stopped refining and directly moved Yi Tian out. 3 refinements outside the void. Yi Tian came out and saw the Function Mountain Master and many half-step ancestors who were guarding outside. Wanfa Daozu, you finally came out. Jin Chen Daozu said in shock. What's wrong? Yi Tian asked in doubt. Function Mountain Master smiled and said, Wanfa Daozu, you have been tempering in the third refinement void for too long, and they all came out early. Yi Tian immediately understood that he persisted for too long and shocked everyone. However, even if he knew it would attract attention, he would do it. He didn't want to hide his strength and cause him to lose such a big opportunity. Besides, he was already very high profile. Invincible Tao ancestor had the strength of a half-step ancestor of the realm of all things. Go away, Function Mountain Master said. Immediately, the incarnation of a half-step ancestor dissipated, and their main body had long since retreated, so why are you waiting here all the time? Master, I'm leaving. Yi Tian also wanted to say goodbye to the Mountain Master. Afterwards, Yi Tian returned to the human world. Tiandi Palace. They used the Gate of Stone Eyes and exhausted the 2 opportunities of the Gate of Stone Eyes, making the Gate of Stone Eyes a waste. But the final success is very satisfying. The Lord of Heavenly Punishment has risen from the powerful half-step ancestor level of the realm of all things to the top level of the half-step ancestor of the realm of all things, but the person almost went crazy, and it took a long time to recover before he recovered. The Palace Master Lei Jia broke the shackles in one fell swoop, and was promoted to the half-step ancestor level of the One Realm, becoming the second half-step ancestor of the Heavenly Emperor Palace. It can be said that the strength of the Heavenly Emperor Palace has skyrocketed a lot. When the Heavenly Emperor Palace and Haifeng Mountain continued to grow in strength, the Devouring Clan knew nothing, and even when a Devouring Clan was killed, they did not respond, or did not know. Because the relationship between the Devouring Clan is not very close, and it is quite normal for the Devouring Clan to disappear for tens of thousands of years, and it is not surprising that it disappears for millions of years. Human world. After Yi Tian stabilized his realm, he began to think about the Devouring Clan. At present, the Devourers are indeed the biggest threat to the Xuanshu ancient realm and even the Daoshan realm, and both Tiandi Palace and High Function have interrogated some of the Devourers from the mouth of the invincible Daozu level Devourer, but they dare not go there. Probe. Heavenly Emperor Palace and Haifeng Mountain are afraid of angering the Devouring Clan, causing the Devouring Clan to invade the Xuanshu ancient realm, which will lead to a catastrophe. Heavenly Emperor Palace and other half-step ancestors of Haifeng Mountain did not dare to investigate, but Yi Tian dared to investigate. Of course, he will not investigate the body, but let the cloned body investigate. The swallowing named Tengfeng that was captured before was only at the invincible Dao ancestor level and was at the same level as Yi Tian, so Yi Tian could copy the opponent's body and enter the swallowing clan as the opponent. Therefore, Yi Tian asked Function Mountain Master for information on Tengfeng and all the contents of his memory. Only after obtaining all the memory contents, can he dress up Tengfeng better, so as not to be easily discovered by other devouring clan. Although Function Mountain Master did not know Yi Tian's purpose, he still handed over all of Tengfeng's memory to Yi Tian. After Yi Tian absorbed Tengfeng's memory, he had a general understanding of Tengfeng's living habits and the inside of the devouring clan. A chaotic void away from the ancient world of Xuanshu. A figure tore through the void and appeared. It was Yi Tian. He begins to replicate a whole new body, the Devourer. Wow! In the blink of an eye, the body of Tengfeng of the devouring clan was copied, exactly the same as the real Tengfeng who died. There is no difference at all, the only difference is his own memory. After the body of the devouring race was replicated, Yi Tian was even able to devour the universe with this body to grow. But Yi Tian doesn't need to do this, he doesn't want to become a real devourer. Swish! Yi Tian controlled the swallowing clan body to shuttle quickly, and quickly left here and went to the swallowing world where the swallowing clan was located. The devouring realm is also a small realm, which is not weaker than the small realm where Fengshan is located. Under normal circumstances, outsiders cannot find the devouring realm at all, and only the devouring clan can enter the devouring realm. Even if other creatures discover the devouring realm, they cannot break in. Devour the world. Yi Tian came here, but after he approached here, his body instinctively sensed the existence of the devouring world. Immediately, Yi Tian exerted the ability to swallow talent, and his body was automatically swallowed by the swallowing world. This is also the only way for the devouring race to enter the devouring world, which is very concealed and convenient. After entering the devouring world, Yi Tian felt the power of the rules of this world, even stronger than the rules of the ancient world of Xuanshu. After all, this place was established by the domain ancestors of the devouring clan, and the rules are strong and normal. 5.8. The first time, Yi Tian returned to Tengfeng's residence. The devourers are not interested in any formation restrictions. The so-called residence is the Black Palace, which is very simple. The devourers usually live in their palaces and sleep. Not long after returning to Tengfeng's residence, Yi Tian couldn't help coming out. He went to the only giant city of the devouring clan, Swallowing World City. Devourer City is the place where the devourers trade. The number of devourers is rare, but there are occasional transactions. There is even a devourer exchange in it, and a devourer has been guarding here for a long time. If there is no one, the devourer will fall asleep instead, and once someone comes, he will wake up to do business. Yi Tian came to this exchange in Tunji City, and the half-step domain ancestor of the realm of all things guarding the exchange, the killing wind awakened. Chapter 1260 Trade Treasures from the Devourers. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Tengfeng, you just went out to devour the universe, be careful, don't be caught by those outside practitioners. Killing Feng stared at Yi Tian and reminded. Senior Feng, those cultivators are just average, so they want to catch me. Yi Tian said so on purpose. Feng nodded and agreed. Also, it is said that a powerful world born in the realm, what is the mysterious ancient realm, has some half-step ancestors, but its strength is too weak compared to our swallowing clan. They do their best to create the world and cultivate the world, just for us to eat. How can these practitioners threaten us? But they can't scare them, let them continue to create the world, cultivate the world. It is best to cultivate the mysterious ancient world to comparable to the level of the realm. We can destroy them again, but we can't destroy their foundation, otherwise there will be no world to swallow them in the future, and they will sleep for countless years. Yi Tian chatted with the swallowing clan called Killing Wind for a long time before moving on to the topic. Boy Tengfeng, what are you going to trade these 29 times? Killer asked. Yi Tian said, this time I infiltrated into the ancient world of Xuanshu among the practitioners. There are many good things there, and it seems that there are many treasures that are useful to us. I am going to trade some treasures that are also practitioners, perhaps for us. They say that things that are useless are very valuable in them. What kind of things do you trade? Do you still want to trade with the cultivators? It's a waste of time to experience. According to what I said, you will occasionally swallow some universes, and when you enter the half-step ancestor level, you will slowly wait for the orders of those adults. When the ancient world of Xuanshu is destroyed, a large number of worlds will be swallowed up, and you are afraid that you will not grow up. Even if you obtain some treasures that are helpful to your own strength, the speed of improving your strength after refining is very slow. To tell you the truth, it is not suitable for us to devour the clan to cultivate honestly, it is better to devour the world. Killing Wind reminded. Senior Feng, I understand the truth, but I've been bored recently, and if you want to go shopping, you can trade it to me. Yi Tian said, well, it's all garbage anyway, you come to the treasure house with me, choose it yourself, and then you can give some world origins later. Feng waved his hand. The world origin is the cultivation resource of the devourer, so the world origin is very valuable to them, and it is a currency that can be used for trading. Then, Yi Tian followed the Killing Wind to a treasure house. This treasure house is what was left by the cultivator civilization before the devourer clan destroyed it. Some things are indigestible, and some things have some value, so they are placed in this treasure house. After entering the treasury, Killing Wind let Yi Tian choose what to choose and what to take, without caring about these things at all. For Feng, these things are of little value, and if it is not refined, it will be of little benefit, and he will definitely not keep it. With a swipe of consciousness, Yi Tian's pupils shrank sharply. So many treasures, Yi Tian said in shock. There are simply too many good things. Although it is not all the top treasures of a civilization, it is also a small part of the treasures. It can be seen how precious the treasures here are. For example, taboo strange objects, there are piles and piles here, many of which are taboo treasures. In addition, there are precious ores that are comparable to indestructible gold, which shows that the civilization was relatively powerful at the time, but it was still destroyed by the devouring clan. Yi Tian was walking in the treasure house, constantly exploring the treasures here, and choosing carefully. First of all, those forbidden strange objects and forbidden treasures of cultivation, he wanted them one by one. There were also some treasures that looked very extraordinary, but could not be identified for a while, and he also took them. What is this? Yi Tian saw a page of paper, black paper, filled with terrible taboo rules. Killing Feng saw Yi Tian staring at the black paper and said, "This black paper is a bit lacking, it looks like a piece of paper, but it is very tough, even our devouring race can't digest it, and the taboo rules above are very powerful, if you stay in our body will make us uncomfortable. I tried to destroy this piece of paper, but I couldn't break it. I think its value should not be low. If you take other treasures, I will give you a little cheaper, but if you take this piece of paper, I think it may be a treasure at the ancestor level, I need 300 world origin crystals. The world source crystal is formed by the condensed world source. The devourer will naturally condense the world source crystal, and the world source crystal condensed by the devourer has a specified size, so it can be used as a currency unit." No problem, Yi Tian agreed. He also felt that this control was very extraordinary. Although it looked like there was nothing on it, he felt that spending 300 world origin crystals was worth it. So, he also took this black paper. After about 3 hours, Yi Tian took away a lot of treasures, and then left the treasure house of Sheifeng. In fact, he really wanted to take all the treasures away, but in that case, killing Wind 497 would definitely make him pay a lot of world origin crystals, and he didn't have that many world origin crystals in his hands. Give a total of 800 world origin crystals. Killing Wind calculated, said. Give you. Yi Tian took out the 800k world origin crystal and handed it to Sheifeng. These world origin crystals are a very small part that he extracted from the origin of the human world, but condensed by using the body of the devourer. The human world is a medium taboo void world, its origin is so powerful, it is many times stronger than those of the universe, and even many times stronger than the origin of the Tao world, so taking a little bit is enough to condense thousands of world origins. Crystal. Yes, I have accepted the world's source crystal, you can go, don't disturb my sleep. The killing wind blasted Yi Tian away. Next, Yi Tian stayed in the devouring world for a few days, the focus was to understand the situation here, and he was not in a hurry to leave. After about a few hundred years, Yi Tian left the devouring world, and then merged with his own body somewhere in the primal chaos void, and handed all the treasures to Yi Tian, and then they separated. The copy body devourers returned to the devouring world again and acted as undercover agents.